waves crash on the beach of an endless sea, you hear a voice you have heard so many times before. The horizon. She calls to you. She sings of endless wonders and innumerable horrors, of hopeful promises and dire warnings. And you feel her song. It was always there. Listen. Do you hear it? The wind is in your favor. The tide is rising. The sea is yours for the taking, and your ship awaits. Fair winds and following seas, brave mariner. May fortune find you when the horizon calls. Ahoy and welcome everyone to Horizon's Call. But wait a second, this isn't our normal crew. No, this is a special prequel episode of Horizon's Call, which is going to be running Secrets of the Skyhorn Lighthouse, a wonderful module by Kelsey Dion, who you can, the module itself you can find on DM's Guild. Kelsey's tag is also Arcane Library, at Arcane Library on Twitter. I meant to put that in the secondary tweet. I'll do that in just a second. But while I am doing that, I'm going to have these lovely people, some of them introduce themselves again, but some of them introduce themselves for the first time, at least in the world of Domaris. So let's go ahead and go around, and Jamie, you're to my right on the screen, so if you wouldn't mind starting us off. Tell us about yourself, your character, hopes, dreams, aspirations.
My name is Jambo. Pronouns are she, her. My character is Letty. Appropriately enough, she is afraid of the water, so I thought this would be the perfect campaign for her. She's not very smart, and she's not very charismatic, but she is very feisty and scrappy, so I feel like she's ready to punch a shark right in the eye.
And Jamie, I just want to say right off the bat, I appreciate you so much for being the only person in this group to not pick a character with water breathing.
No, she can't. She's afraid of water, so up to all of you.
Because Letty is a tiefling monk, way of the open hand.
Tiefling monk.
Wonderful. Yep. All right. Well, thank you, Jamie. Next up, Seth. Tell us about yourself and your character, please.
Hi, I'm Seth. I will be playing Coral, a water genasi, swashbuckler. That's really all you need to know about Coral, aside from the fact that they have their pronouns are they, them. My pronouns are she, they. So if you hear somebody refer to me as she, I'm assuming that it's going to be at Seth and not Coral. Coral is a hot mess rolled into a 6'3" Thembo form, and I am super excited to play with this group. I have, I don't think I've played with anybody here before except for Eva. So this is going to be all right, and I can't wait.
Thank you, Seth. Next up, Trees.
Hi, I'm Tiny Trees. Everyone just calls me Trees. I don't have a first name anymore. I will be playing Eden, she, her, who is a Triton druid who's a little weird. You'll see. Like, she does things that a completely underwater druid should probably not know how to do. And just does a lot of weird stuff. So makes sense that it's me, because I'm also weird. So
weird stuff. What do you think you're playing? Dungeons and Dragons?
Who knew?
Thank you, Trees. Next up is the person without whom we would not be here, the very lovely Eva. Eva, you've done this before, but go ahead and remind us who your character is.
Hi, hello. I'll be playing Wynni today, a sea elf artificer, who is just so ready to make all the new friends and maybe run into some old friends and start some friendships with some better future friends. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you, Eva. And last but absolutely not least, the favorite, Kaila. Tell us about Scarlet.
Hi, I'm Kaila. I'll be playing Scarlet Shores today. She, her pronoun. Scarlet is a siren warlock who will be making an appearance with Wynni and friends.
Yeah, and this is probably I think this is going to be like the meeting of Scarlet and Wynni, the fateful meeting. So without any further ado, let's do this. Actually, fuck, I should probably introduce myself. Yeah, hi, I'm Derek Sword. I'm your DM for Horizons Call every week. I'm not used to doing this. But I'm very excited. As I said, we're going to be running Secrets in Skyhorn Lighthouse. It is going to be a modulation of that module, so it kind of ties into the world a little bit more. But just as a refresher, if this is your first time here, our game is taking place in the world of Damaris. It is an oceanic world that once was a verdant land full of continents and mountains and large stretches of earth that didn't even see water. But hundreds of years ago, there was a cataclysm, and most of the world sank under massive tidal waves. What's left is a stretch across the planet of archipelagos. There have been empires and kingdoms which have fought to reclaim little bits of land here and there, and now there are massive naval empires which stretch across these little pieces of green which still exist and try to claim what they can from the resources left. Beneath the ocean, however, the people there have thrived, having their homeland essentially doubled in size in the blink of an eye. So, of course, what happens when there are fewer resources is there's conflict. Weirdly enough, what happens when there's more resources is there's still conflict as people try to fight over them. So whereas there are naval battles fighting over domination of the surf and the sky, there's battles under the sea as well. War between two different factions of denizens who are fighting for domination under the water. But we're not going to worry about any of that now because we have a secret of a Skyhorn Lighthouse to figure out. So our game takes place on a small cove. It's a port city which, for any other reason, shouldn't even have buildings there. It doesn't really even make a big mark on the map, but it exists in a large stretch of water in between two other major ports. It's a way stop. It's an important one, especially for ships that are crossing this large stretch of water, which is otherwise infested with dangerous creatures. So you find yourself in this cove, and there have been some problems recently because Canna's Cove hasn't had a ship come or go for about a week and a half now. About a week and a half ago, those who were watching one of the ships leave basically watched as a giant sea monster sprang out of the water and attacked the ship just as it was passing by the Skyhorn Lighthouse. It's a lighthouse that's actually on an island further out from the cove. The ship was seemingly destroyed, sunk, and its remnants dragged to the island itself. Since that happened, other ships have tried to leave, and none have been successful. The sea monster has destroyed whatever got close to the lighthouse. So now, ships just sit in the harbor. Goods are rotting. Sailors are getting antsy. And this town, which is used to people coming and going, is now having to accommodate for almost double the population that it normally would, just sitting around with nothing to do. Tempers are simmering, and there is a general kind of malaise and almost frustration that's building to anger within Canna's Cove. Go ahead and go around. You might have all come here for different reasons. Again, it's a waypoint. It's not somewhere that people typically stay, but a lot of you are beings that are able to swim through the water. What brought you to Canna's Cove? Eva, why don't you go ahead and start?
We don't have audio. according
Yep.
to chat.
That's because I muted myself and then did not unmute myself. I, Eva, Wynni, with she, her pronouns, am in Kenneth's Cove looking for artifacts and trying to talk to some contacts and whatnot to get leads on artifacts and new friends and maybe some of those fruity drinks I hear people really like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fruity drinks, absolutely. You would find at port towns. Kenneth's Cove, not necessarily one that would have artifacts coming and going, but not a lot necessarily staying around. All right. So, Wynni, what are you doing right now? Are you just kind of just moseying around the docks? Are you hanging out at one of those local bars for fruity drinks?
I'm still muted. How do I do that to myself? I'm just gonna not mute myself ever. Anyway, sitting in a bar with a flight of sugary, fruity drinks arranged in a rainbow in front of her. I will never mute myself again.
Never again. It's going to be great. Coral, what are you necessarily up to? What brought you to Kenneth's Cove?
Hearing that there were some issues with product moving through. First, two reasons mainly. Number one being that if this is a place where people are preoccupied with making their money, then that means no one is looking for me. So place to lay low, which in Coral style, let's be real, is not necessarily inconspicuous at all. Number two, there's obviously money to be made here in helping to rectify this situation. So I am going to probably get up on some of that. If there's pretty shiny trinkets lying around, I will be helping myself to those. And yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that you could pick the pockets of a person or two. Plenty of sailors just sitting around. I mean, that's the thing about sailors. They always spend gold when they come into port because they're not going to be there that long. But they also don't have the habit to know better. So at this point, they've just been spending gold left and right. These guys are acting like they're on vacation, but vacation has gone too long at this point. So yeah, you absolutely are just, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah, that sounds like Coral.
Eden, it is rarer, not completely unheard of, but rarer to see a Triton above the water. Perhaps one as unique as yourself. What brought you to Kenneth's Cove?
I was actually am I out of the water? Am I just creeping?
You can be creeping in the water, sure.
I think Eden is definitely creeping in the water, which is still weird that I'm on the surface.
Yeah.
But there has been a lot of discussion below the water of what's been happening, because clearly giant sea monsters attacking ships is not a normal thing, and we are very aware of that. But also, Eden likes to come up to the surface a lot more than she probably should. It's kind of impacted some of the things that she can do, and still trying to figure some of that out. So she's just kind of I don't want to compare this because it's out of D&D, but she's Little Mermaiding on the rock, watching all the people, and obviously ships haven't been leaving, so there's not as much movement in the ocean. The animals aren't moving as much anymore, and so there's clearly something that's disrupting all of this. But she's the one that is up here figuring it out. So
yeah, actually, first roll the game. Go ahead and make me a nature check as a druid.
I'm not that great at that. I am wise but not smart.
It always bugged me that nature was an intelligence thing, not a wisdom thing.
And druids are a wisdom-based class.
Yeah,
so it's
roll with advantage. That always bugged me.
I mean, that's fine. I got a 19, so we're good. I hope.
Okay. Yeah, so hanging out in the water. So to describe Candace Cove, which maybe I should have done, it is a crescent-shaped island. So essentially, the cove has like land kind of wrapped around all sides. It kind of feeds up to and into the island itself, which kind of goes up onto a slope. The buildings are built into this natural kind of rock crescent formation, and there's natural barriers, so it's actually safe from most storms because the rocky outcropping of this crescent protects most ships. So most ships will dock within this crescent area. There's plenty of rocks for Eden to kind of exist on, to Little Mermaid on, but even hanging out in the water, you know that coves are, I mean, even coves where there's a lot of ship traffic, it's a place where kind of like flora and fauna can kind of thrive. It's safe from a lot of larger predators, but there's not much here anymore. It's not that things have been like eaten or depleted. There's still the flora at least, but most of the fish and the wildlife have fled. There's something, just I'll give you that, there's something unnatural happening in the water right now. Letty, as the landlubber of this group, I'm assuming you're not in the water, but I don't want to tell you what to do.
I have not.
What is Letty up to?
So I found my way here because I got lost, and I'm not sure what happened, but now I'm here, but I'm afraid of water, so I'm afraid to leave. So I then heard that there was a big sea monster, and so this is where I live now. So I'm walking around just trying to get used to the surroundings, and I'm gonna just go into a bar because that's where people go. And I think people are better than the water. So I'm in a bar just sitting, and I'm kind of in the back because I'm hiding from the ocean.
People are better than water. Letty,
Yeah.
2021. Yep. Well, Letty, you would see a particular sea elf with a flight of fruity drinks, but we'll get to that in a second after we figure out where Scarlet is at this moment. So Scarlet, as I understand it, this is not an ideal time in your life.
No. Scarlet was sent on a assignment, a quest from her. I don't know how else to explain her, but how would you explain Eula?
Your boss friend,
My,
boss mom.
my boss friend. Patron-esque, motherly figure.
Patron is probably the most accurate
Owner?
word in a number of ways.
Owner?
Handler?
Handler? I was told to do a thing, and I have no choice but to listen, and I was trusted with my own ship and my own crew, and I lost it all.
Yeah, you did.
The sea monster destroyed my first ship, destroyed my crew. I abandoned them by jumping off and fleeing. And I have been stuck on this island since. So Scarlet is looking pretty rough at the bar, pretty bad-tempered. A little banged up.
Yeah.
Drinking sorrows away until she can get off the island and go lick her wounds on the fin.
So, Letty, as you walk into the bar, what do I want to call this bar? Eva, come up with a bar name for me. I'm gonna regret that. Letty, as you
Sailor.
What is it?
A sloshy sailor.
Sloshy Sailor it is. The Sloshy Sailor, as you walk through the doors of the Sloshy Sailor, and the salt air kind of congeals with the smoke and just like the dampness that comes from oceanside buildings, which aren't built super structurally sound. It's just kind of like mildewy wood everywhere. You would see a few folk. There's sailors about. A number of them are just sleeping at this point, and you kind of get the idea that these are the individuals who are more accustomed to the night crew, and whereas they would typically be sleeping on their ship, they actually get to kind of stretch their legs a little bit and sleep in like one of the dark places that's provided to them that's not in a ship right now. Because there's a lot of superstition about even getting on your ship right now.
Yeah.
Any ship. But you would see of the lively individuals around, there is a halfling who is tending bar. You would know that because they are doing the stereotypical thing with a rag and a glass. You would see a rough-looking merfolk and a somewhat happy-looking sea elf with a flight of fruity drinks.
Okay, so I think she would walk up to the elf because there's drinks on the table. Hi.
Hi.
I'm lost. But are you
I'm Wynni.
Oh, no, my name isn't lost. My name is Letty. They start with an L. It's confusing. I know.
Oh.
Do they just leave drinks on the table for people? And she's gonna pick one up.
Oh, I haven't noticed that they have. I had to ask for these special. There's
you did.
You can have that one. There's like 6 of them. I think I already sipped that one. It's very pineapple-y, is what the person behind the counter said. I don't know what that means, but it had kind of like a little like.
What's a pineapple?
I don't know.
Is it? I don't know what this is.
I would just try it, and if you like it, they'll probably give you more. Wynni is fascinated. Does Letty enjoy it?
I think that was good. So they just give these to people then.
Yeah, like they want money for it, but also like
okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I'll share. If you want to sit down, like.
No, I live here now because I can't leave.
I don't think this is that sort of establishment. Like, they'll let you go. That door opens both ways.
So where do I go then?
Do you not have a home?
The ocean can't get to me in here.
I mean,
water. It's scary out there. It's scary outside.
I have bad news for you about tidal waves.
What?
I mean, you just said that the ocean can't get to you here, which is mostly true unless there's a tidal wave, because, like, we're still pretty close to, like, sea level.
What is the title of the wave?
Oh. I never thought to ask.
If I knew its name, maybe I could ask it to stop.
Yeah, usually by the time you see him, it's a little late. But,
Okay. All right, well, you know what? I feel less scared after that first drink. So I think, could I have another one of your pineapple liquid things?
Yeah, I don't think this one's pineapple. They said that they're all different, but do you want to try the green one?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna drink the whole thing.
Wynni is gonna signal for, like, another flight, just to, like, round things out.
The bartender, this halfling, Wynni would know is named Benji, just kind of comes over and he looks very tired, but starts preparing.
Very tired. Are you okay?
I haven't gotten a lot of sleep there, miss.
She says that if you go outside, you can sleep out there somewhere.
That's objectively false. I mean, I suppose you can.
Well, she said
I have a
you
home.
can't sleep in here. You can't sleep in here. She said that.
To be fair, Benji, I did say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, to be fair, Benji's working, so probably shouldn't be sleeping on the job. Although...
Do you make these things?
I'm sorry, what was that?
These. Do you make these?
Beverages, yes.
Those. They're very good.
I think I'm gonna have to cut you off. Have you drank before?
It's just liquid, right?
I guess, but so is salt water. You don't want to drink that.
No, I don't. That's true. I actually don't want to be anywhere near it.
Why are you on an island?
I got lost. I don't know. I took a nap somewhere, and then next
On a
thing
boat?
I know, in a box. I don't sleep just
Mm.
anywhere. And then I ended up here somewhere. I got out of my box and I was somewhere else. I don't know. I'm here now though. I live here now.
Did you lose your box?
I think so. To the water.
Scarlet, you would hear all of this. Whether you engage is up to you. Coral, you would hear all of this too, as I'm assuming you're picking the pockets of some of these sleeping sailors. More alliteration. Eden, are you still just hanging out in the surf?
I mean, has anything like happened out in like the town that would draw my attention?
It's been pretty quiet up until it isn't. Somebody starts shouting. And Eden,
Oh,
so
good.
the way the cove is kind of set up is that there are kind of docks built into the natural structure of the land, and that way ships can actually, there's a pretty low berth to it, so the ships can actually dock directly with the island instead of having to dock further out. Because of space, there are ships that are further docked out into the cove. But yeah, you might just be hanging out near like the stillness of the briny area of the water, again, kind of like near where some of the smaller rocks would be. But Eden, you might be the first to see this person standing on top of a stack of boxes of what smells probably like rotting meat. Is a objectively attractive half-elf woman in like a long kind of like captain's coat, and she is just shouting as loudly as she can, and there's like sailors just like sitting everywhere, just sleeping, people just moseying about, no one's paying her any attention, but she's essentially just like yelling to everybody. And you would even hear this inside the bar as well, and Benji would be one of the first ones whose ears kind of perk up, and he comes out from behind the bar and exits.
Can I tell from distance what she's yelling about? Or do
Yeah.
I need to like get closer?
She's essentially yelling for people to get off their asses and to like come with her. She's essentially just saying, you, hey you, yes, you, no, okay, not paying attention, you, all right, we're getting on a boat, we're making a break for it, you into it? No, okay, I need like literally two people, you,
I
no?
will approach her. I
Okay.
will majestically climb out of the water. So I'm still like soaking wet. Cause like I've been on a rock in the water. And like I'm gonna like walk up to her, but I'm not going to engage. I want to see if she notices me because I am very aware that I am out of place here.
Yeah, literally, if you're the only person looking at her, she's going to notice you because everyone else is actively like avoiding eye contact. And
Yeah,
she's
fine.
going to point, hey, you look mighty interested. She's like trying to do a sales pitch sort of thing. Listen, my name is Sheila, and I am going to, I'm tired of being on this stupid island. I'm making a break for it. I'm getting out there. My ship is fast. We can make for it. You want to do it?
Where are you?
What's your name?
Where are we going? I don't even tell her my
Anywhere,
name. I
not
just want to
here.
know where we're going.
No, just literally anywhere else.
Literally, wait, why would you go anywhere without knowing where you're going?
I just want to get out of this island, this cove. I feel trapped here, don't you? It's like it's the rock walls are like closing in around us.
I mean, I don't spend a lot of time here. I don't know if you could tell that.
I don't
So
either.
like,
No one does. That's the problem. And now we're all just sitting here, rotting like this very clearly rotting meat. I should not be standing on this.
yeah, why are you sitting on that? That smells terrible. And I
Trying to
imagine
get some
you now
high
smell
ground.
terrible. I just told her she smells bad. Sorry.
It's okay. It's pirates, you know.
I know.
I didn't say that. listen, okay, you interested?
I'm interested, but I don't think it should just be the two of us. I mean, have you seen that there's some weird stuff going on here? Like, how long have you been here? Like,
I have been here for 2 weeks now. 2 weeks too long. Eden, as you are actually talking to Sheila, Captain Sheila, people are actually starting to notice now that you have kind of started the grouping, and especially because you are a Triton, there are actually people who are like more looking at you than looking at Sheila.
Okay, sorry, question.
Mhm.
Time frame between she's been here 2 weeks and Sea Monster.
Sea Monster was about a week and a half ago.
So she
So
was
she
here
would have been
before
here
and she's
when-
trapped here now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm clearly interested because sure, I want to go somewhere new. I mean, this is all new, but I still don't think it should just be the two of us. I don't know how to fix that because I don't really have any friends, but you know,
You've got
you're
one now.
loud and we're able to get people's attention. So I mean, maybe.
It's all you need sometimes, baby. So you all would hear like shouting from inside the bar. What did the rest of you do?
What is that? And why? Do you hear that?
Wynni's gonna lean over the bar and like grab a piece of fruit and just like pop it in her mouth since Benji left. Ooh, that one's tart. Yep, someone sure sounds pretty upset about something.
Well, I didn't do anything wrong.
I mean, sometimes people yell even if you didn't do anything wrong.
That's mean.
It is mean. But we could go check it out.
Outside? By the water? Okay.
Look, I'm very good with the water. I will keep you safe. Deal?
Okay. You stand in between and I'll come.
Okay, deal. Wynni will hold out her hand to strike a bargain.
She'll high five you.
She'll do like an awkward like try to catch the high five instead of the shake. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this.
Okay.
And then she'll walk out the door first after hesitating, like thinking about opening it for you. Like she'll immediately like think maybe. Oh right. I'll go first.
Okay. I'll come.
Scarlet
Wynni
will
and
follow
Letty.
them both out.
Okay. Coral, what are you up to?
I assume that there's some kind of some poor sod who has fallen asleep drunk somewhere in some alley. I'm
Yeah.
pickpocketing. I'm doing what I do best. I'm rifling through some poor soul's shit.
Okay. Seth, go ahead and roll me a D100.
100?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not everybody has gold on them, but
This
I'm gonna
can
see
only
how
turn
much.
out well. That is a, what are you, a 62?
Okay. You have accumulated the kind of general wealth between like trinkets and actual coin of about 62 gold.
Sweet.
So all of you at this point would see a Triton still just kind of like dripping wet from the majestic exit of the water that none of you saw. Just chatting with a smelly half-elven woman. Sheila has like kind of long blonde hair that's kind of tied in a ponytail. She has a like really dark navy blue, almost black velvet kind of captain's coat, which drops down. And she is the half-elf woman is just pointing at this Triton and yelling loudly about getting on her boat. What are the rest of you doing?
So, but that doesn't seem like our business.
Does it seem like that poor Triton is being kidnapped? It's a lot of shouting for a kidnapping, but on the other hand...
I mean, yeah. I think if she wanted to get on her boat, she would have by now.
That is a really nice coat, though.
That's true. Maybe she's saying, like, maybe it's not angry, maybe it's excited. Get on my boat! Right? And then, so, maybe, you know.
As you two are chatting, Benji is kind of standing there next to you with his arms crossed, just, Sheila's at it again.
Ah, God, I didn't know you were there. Okay.
I was here the whole time. Watch where you're
I didn't know you were
going.
coming with. I'm sorry.
I was already out here.
Are you trying to find somewhere to sleep?
No.
Oh, you still look really
I'm not going
tired.
over the skin. If you need to rent a room, you can, but
You told me I couldn't sleep there.
you can't sleep in the bar. It is
Other
there are
people
rooms
were
upstairs.
doing it.
Have you been to? It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I hope you get some sleep soon, maybe.
I will.
Don't sneak
I've
up
just
on
been
people like that. I
overworked.
could have elbowed you right in the... Smeller.
Literally standing here all the time. What's your
Okay.
passive perception? Like an 11?
Yeah, exactly that, actually.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. Well, maybe we should go and see. Maybe we should help her. If it's
She's
not
just
a
looking
party
for more
boat
people to get on her boat. That's all it is.
for a party,
Oh, on her boat, not like in her coat. Okay.
oh, you
I
thought
think you
that
need
she
to
wanted her to
ask
get in her
nicely for that.
coat. Oh, maybe
She's
we
been
should try to
trying
give
this
her her
for-
coat.
She's been trying to gather people for days now. And now apparently she's desperate enough to start screaming about it like a madwoman. And he kind of
Wait,
shouts
wait,
out
wait,
to her.
To get people to go on her boat in the water.
That's where boats go.
That's bad. No, we can't let her get on the boat.
Unless it's a dry dock situation.
A dry duck?
You two have the weirdest conversations. No. Listen, she's trying to get off the island. This island isn't that big. So honestly, Letty, if you're looking for like a place to stay, property values are pretty expensive right now. There's not a lot of land to grab.
I have, like, not a lot of money right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just sleep
Listen.
at the bar. Other
No.
people were doing it.
No. No, that's not.
Maybe she'll give me her coat.
Hey, do you two need help over there?
You have a nice coat.
Thank you. Would you like to get the heck off this island?
In the water?
In a boat?
No.
Okay.
I found friends. She like Eden gestures wildly at people that are yelling at us.
I want to walk closer to them.
Okay, I'm gonna hang on to the back of Wynni and follow.
Wynni is A-okay with that. Especially because she's distracted by the magic F word.
Yeah, I want to walk up to the
You want to walk up to the what?
captain.
Okay.
Black Velvet.
Yeah. Black Velvet. Yeah, okay. So
Does that
she
mean
look
that
up-
Scarlet walks past us, or is Scarlet going somewhere else?
I think
Can I
they're all
see
like,
Scarlet?
yeah, you would see Scarlet. Well, maybe not with the 11 pass perception. I don't know.
She's so beautiful. Look at her hair blowing in the wind.
There's not even any wind. It's just, yeah.
It's the
It's just
sea
an
cow.
effect.
There's no wind. It's just nothing. I don't think so. There's wind. She's making her own. Clearly, her hair's blowing. It's beautiful.
I love it here.
So Sheila kind of gets down off her stinky meat box and walks over to all of you and kind of like gathers Eden in. Hi, ladies. It's, oh gosh, it is so wonderful seeing a collection of such brave individuals such as yourselves. Listen,
I'm gonna stop you there.
yes,
You said you have a boat.
I do.
You want to get off the island.
Very much so.
How do you anticipate on doing that?
Quickly.
Nothing is fast enough.
Well,
My
then
ship
we'll all
went
just-
down.
Oh my god, are you okay?
I am fine. My crew, not so much.
It's the water. Water's bad. I told you.
Oh, not the water. The thing in the water. How do you anticipate getting past?
Well, that's why I'm hoping for some people to help me fight said thing in the water while I try to maneuver around said thing in the water. See, the thing I've noticed over the past couple of weeks is everyone tries going right around the island. I am going to try to go left.
So
Have you
basically,
tried
you want
taking your boat?
sacrifices.
On the other side of the island instead? And going off the back? Like dragging it like across the island and then going the other way?
Over the mountain?
Yeah.
No. But good idea, I guess.
Good luck.
Thank you. All right.
You're not looking for assistance. You're looking for sacrifices.
No. I'm hoping we all make it out. I can't fight while also steering the boat, and it's unfortunately just me on the Rumor. That's the name of my ship. She's gorgeous.
Has Scarlet ever heard of the rumor?
You would not know. This is not
Okay.
a notable ship by any means.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, not even a history check on that. This is, yeah. And actually, when she does say the rumor, she indicates to a clearly like secondhand keelboat. It is in reference to our the Innocence, which is a sailing ship. The keelboat is less than half as long. It doesn't have like, it has a little bit of storage. It does not really have a below deck that you could necessarily like stand in. It has like essentially crawl space. It has benches. It's a single mast, but it's small.
And there are no trestles.
And there are no trestles.
So what do we get out of helping you since getting off this island?
What do you want?
Well, that is a more private discussion for me.
Benji will actually kind of like pop up again since apparently, yeah.
Been here the whole time.
I stopped looking
Listen.
at you. I don't know.
Object permanence.
That hardly.
Listen, ladies, if you're looking to get off the island, I can at least offer this. If you're going to get off the island, my biggest concern is that.
And he indicates the lighthouse. What you would know about the lighthouse is that since you all have been here for at least a day or two, at least overnight, it's been since that sea serpent attack, since that sea monster attack, that the lighthouse has not lit up. It hasn't really been a super big issue because no ships have tried to sail in. No ships have been able to sail out. But he indicates even further past the lighthouse where there is an encroaching storm, a massive one. My concern is ships will try to come into Canas and crash on the island, crash on one of the many, many rocks. It's a relatively narrow entry point to the cove. You need the lighthouse. So, listen, if you make a break for it, and you can at least get to the lighthouse, I will give you 200 gold each.
If we're over there, how do we get the gold from you?
Suppose you gotta make it back.
What
But that's the idea. Get the lighthouse lit.
do you
You
people
think
even
back?
use gold for?
Tritons. Pretty seashells.
Or
I'm in.
Or,
I'm in.
All right, that's
Don't
fine too.
talk to her. Don't talk to her.
Wait,
She
wait.
doesn't know anything.
We're
They
going on
don't
the
use
boat?
currency.
I don't know what gold is.
Do I recognize who Scarlet is? By reputation or by anything?
Winnie, you are relatively well traveled. go ahead and roll me a... Well, Scarlett hasn't even said her name, so this would be more by physical depiction than anything else. Roll me history with disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
What was it, Eva? After
On
that
the
chuckle.
on the dice, I'm mad about this. I rolled a 19 and a 1. So that makes a 7 total with disadvantage.
Anybody could be Scarlet Shores. You could be Scarlet Shores.
I am Scarlet Shores.
Scarlet Shores is your Tyler Durden. She doesn't even really exist. She's just... So Sheila goes, all right, well, hey, Benji, 200 gold each. We can get off this island. Sound like a plan?
I'm
Who's
sorry.
it?
So your plan is for you, darling. Sheila, was it?
Sheila Coppertree.
Sheila, hi. Coral, you have a diggy, no real ship to speak of. You've got no plan and no crew. And you are not compensating us. It's this fine gentleman here. Is that right?
Correct on all accounts.
Huh. Well, would you what would be in it for someone with sailing experience?
A really good time?
Oh, come on.
Experience?
Love,
do
you
you
could
want
do
a
better than
place
that.
on my boat?
You can do better than that. You've got to have something.
Um,
The way I see it, these four, well, I suppose Sea Elf maybe has seen a boat once. We've got a siren with a bad attitude, and then you've got a Triton who probably has no need for boats. But I am a sailor. That's what I do. You want me on that ship? I want to be on your ship. I want the 200 gold. I just want a little bit more.
I have an idea. Why don't you, Shelby, Sheila, why don't you split your 200 from little man over here among all of us?
honestly, that's fine. I'm really just trying to get off this island. I've lost enough money as it is. I'm not even going to break even if I get 200 at this point.
Well,
So you have money.
I had money. I have money elsewhere that I am trying to get to. I lost all my money.
see
in
now
goods.
the truth comes out.
Everybody has money elsewhere.
Sheila's got a little bit more to offer than meets the eye. Well, pleased to meet all of you, by the way. I'm Coral.
You're a pirate.
I am. How did you know?
You might be the strangest pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of me.
Told you I would do it.
Good night.
I had something prepared. We're just going to do Pirates of the Caribbean references. Right.
Now, would it be expected if we're going to help you, Sheila, that we get on the boat and go into the water?
The boat goes in the water. You do not.
Well, hopefully. Some of you may not know this, but I'm afraid of it. I don't like the water. I don't want to be near it or in it. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to look at it. But I also don't want, more people to die. So I'm at a loss. Will you keep me safe?
I
will.
promise.
You will?
Yeah, I can
You
do that.
will.
I'm really good with water.
Okay, can you please, what is the title
That's what I
of the
said.
wave that
Which,
comes through
which-
here?
wait, which wave? And what do you mean by title?
Tidal wave. She said that there's a tidal wave that comes through. I just want to know the title. So could you talk to it and have it not come?
No, that's not. It's
No?
it's title with a D, not. It doesn't have a name.
Spelling's not really my strong suit.
It doesn't have a name. It has to do with like the top.
Scarlet's just over off the side, just like.
Okay.
I'm clearly upset that I'm having to explain tides to someone.
I'm kind of waiting for Eden to like break out into like Colors of the Wind rendition that's all about the ocean. Like, can you speak with all the titles of the wave?
Yeah, that's exactly what she would probably do.
Mhm.
But let's be real.
All right, listen. Oh,
wait. I have an idea.
goodness.
I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna take 2 seconds to explain tides to Letty by using my at-will ability to shape water to like raise and lower the closest small section of ocean next to me.
Wynni is going to like quickly like get in between them and like.
Like a magical aquatic gender swapped Bill Nye, you successfully teach about tidal waves.
We're on like a dock type situation, right?
You are, yes.
Can I use thaumaturgy to make it shake?
You sure can.
Just to grab everyone's attention.
The wooden boards rattle beneath all of you as Scarlet casts thaumaturgy around you.
She crumbles down to her knees and screams.
And what was that for? Was that
That's one way
necessary?
to shiver me tempers.
What did you do? Wynni is looking at Eden.
That was not me. I was just playing with the water. I promise that was not me.
He's gonna climb up Wynni as she's talking.
Wynni is absolutely super strong. Oh, no, Wynni is absolutely not super strong. Wynni tries her darndest.
Sheila, if you can get me off this island and back to the Blackfin, I'll help you.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, why not?
Does that make
Wait,
6 of us? Yeah.
You're familiar. Oh, and the realization hits her of who you are. The red hair, mentioning the fin. Wynni, why don't you go ahead and at that you can roll history again, just straight. Don't help.
It's a 7.
Yeah.
Kaila, these dice are beautiful.
I'm
And
sorry, I
they-
can't send dice to people. They apparently don't roll well when I buy them for people. I'm so sorry.
You have to put them in the freezer before you
I
send
think,
them.
yeah,
Mhm.
I'm gonna, especially on a day like today, I should have.
They melted in the mail. I'm sorry.
Wynni, this may be Scarlet choice. You don't know. Coral, kind of in reference to game recognizing game. Sheila is
Real
is actually gonna
recognize real.
speak to you-
Yes.
Sheila's actually going to speak to you in Thieves' Camp. So to
sweet.
everyone else, this is a very kind of mundane conversation, kind of about the tides, but especially at the reference of the Fen, Sheila essentially is like, do you see the redhead over there? She's loaded with pirate queen gold. If we get her back to her island, I'm sure her boss would be willing to compensate you thoroughly. I
I
can't do
will.
as much. You heard of Eula Salt smiling? She can.
Well, the stage just keeps getting better and better.
And they really like water.
She's like, yeah, thirsty bitch. All right then. Well, hey, I think we've all been properly incentivized. I am looking to get the whatever off of here. Shall we to my my mighty quote?
I mean, yes, but also, like, I don't know who most of you are. I'm Wynni. This is my new, very good best friend, Letty.
Yeah. Okay. I had a box once.
Mm-hmm.
What
Is that
happened
all?
to your box?
I don't know. It's gone.
You lost your box?
Yeah. It's how I got here. I took a nap in a box and then I woke up and I was on this island.
Are you a cat?
No, I don't think so. These are horns, not ears.
Same thing?
I can't hear with these. That'd be cool, though. And then she's gonna tap them to see if she hears it, but she doesn't.
Yeah, no, she doesn't hear through horns.
I mean, Eden doesn't know that. How many things with horns has she ever seen? Like, to her, it's just an appendage on the head, which means you hear out of it.
Yeah, not a lot of things with horns in the ocean, weirdly enough, which I'm now realizing, which is
There's
a weird
narwhals.
realization.
There are narwhals.
Narwhals have horns.
Yeah, but they have one. You have
That's a
two,
tusk.
and it's really
It's
confusing.
actually a tooth.
It's
Yeah.
a tooth, yeah.
No, that makes me uncomfortable.
So these are your teeth. Do you eat with them?
Do I eat with them? I've put food on them before.
Okay, I'm satisfied.
Okay.
Okay, so Wynni, Letty, Coral, Eden, and honored guest. Shall we?
Call you Smiley.
Is Coral smiling when that is said?
I'm sorry?
Did you say call you Smiley?
No, I'm calling Skylet Smiley. I just don't know what her
Oh.
name is.
Right.
Oh, Winnie is.
But I need to have a name so that
There's
I'm
a
calling her
text
Smiley.
popping up at the bottom saying Winnie will remember that.
Coral, I
assuming.
think, will like pat her over to the ship and look sadly at it, and then board.
It is, it's seaworthy. It's just older.
Yeah, but it's not like.
No, it is not grand. It is not magnificent. It is.
It is not.
Again, yeah, it is a single mast ship.
Yeah, I think Coral will see the fact that there's one mast and just be sad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's gonna walk very slowly. Holding on to Wynni to get onto the ship, and once she's there, she's gonna sit down.
So wait, do we actually have to get on the boat to get to the lighthouse? Like it's separated out? It's not just all part of the crescent?
It is, yeah. The Skyhorn Lighthouse actually exists on a separate island that exists. So there's the crescent, and then kind of there's a separate point right outside the crescent. That's the Skyhorn Lighthouse.
Weird technical question. How much faster than a boat am I?
Significantly slower. You have a swim speed of what, 30 feet?
Hold on. I had a plan, and then that plan has been ruined. I don't know what my swim speed is. Oh, please. Oh, wait. I can have a really fast swim speed if I wanted to, though.
Because you can wild shape?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How fast do boats
You can
move?
be a shark.
The joy of wild shape.
My chosen wild shape is reef shark, so yes, I would be a shark.
So, God, I know I have to do math.
Look what you've done.
Distance math. How dare,
dare
you? Math
you.
at D&D?
Bring math
Wait,
into my sacred
stop.
space.
Did you just turn into a shark in front of all of us?
I have not yet.
Oh my god. Okay.
Apparently, is heavily considering it.
I am considering it.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. I think even if you were a reef shark, you might be able to like keep up with the keel boat. Yeah. It moves about, so hers moves about 10 miles per hour.
Okay. So yeah, I would probably keep pace as a reef shark. That's
Okay.
you know what? I'll just get on the boat like a normal person.
You can absolutely be a reef
Just
shark. I am
save
not going to turn that down.
No, I need to save it. Like
Okay. Okay.
Turn into a reef shark and then get on the boat also.
I will punch you.
yeah, my swim
Just
speed and my
a
walking
loose
speed
shark.
are
I
the
would
same.
actually pay to see that. A loose shark.
All right. You all board the Rumor. There is a slightly raised area where the helm is, and you watch Sheila actually climb a ladder to get to it. And she.
Be careful, Sharon.
I'm not gonna. Okay. All right, everyone. Let's tie her off. And she kind of points to Coral at that point, having indicated
Yeah, on
that
it.
they have. Yeah, and the sheet, the singular sheet, is unfurled, and all the other sailors kind of gather around as the rope is untied from the dock, and a lot of them are just shaking their head and just bunch of crazy people. Just believe that? No, they're all gonna die. Suicide mission. Yep.
Bye.
Can we hear that?
Yeah,
As
put
we're
money
getting
on that.
As like we're
Would you like to
taking
put
off?
money on that? Let's put money on that. If I don't come back, how much?
Yeah, they're just waving. They're
I'll give you
No,
50 gold.
just
100?
Coral just yelling 50 gold.
Yeah, taking bets.
I love them.
We don't look past them as we go to the ship, right?
No, they've kind of gathered as the ship is unmooring. So as
Cool.
you're
I want to push whoever's talking shit. I just want to push them off the dock.
all right, you do so. There is a God, who are you making enemies with? There's actually a whole thing of this.
Literally everyone.
Yep, you have made enemies with. I'll note that for later.
Is it like an Elder Scrolls game where if you just attack one civilian, then like all civilians aggro?
No,
My
you
God.
kill one chicken.
Drunk sailors running over to the dock.
Just everyone's like,
It's less like Skyrim in that sense, more like Skyrim, where like if you steal like a pot from a shop, like 2 weeks later an assassin shows up and they have like a letter on them that says, "Oh, this person stole from me. Go and get him."
I can't wait.
oh shit, this bodes very badly for my character.
That's the rumor.
This also bodes very
Ah.
badly for Scarlet and by extension Wynni 3 sessions from now.
You're too high level to worry about bandits at this point. Coral, actually, go ahead and roll me a perception check as well.
I'm great at that. All right, let's see. Let's use the rainbow die because pride. Oh, nat 20. Look at God.
Perfect.
Thank you,
The-
gay
the rest
gods.
The rest of you wouldn't notice this, but Coral, you would maybe know to look out for it. There is Thieves' Camp carved into the ship. Carved into the side of it, right next to the name, the rumor. There is a symbol which indicates that Sheila is an ally. Ally to thieves, because it would be written in Thieves' Camp. So you kind of get the idea that Sheila might actually be a smuggler.
Sweet. Sweet.
And before we get to the actual sailing of everything, I do actually want to mention, because I should have mentioned the top and just everything else I didn't. This current game is benefiting the Trevor Project. So if you in the audience, as for most of our Horizons Call games, want to participate, you can do so through subscriptions, donations, bits. The chat will actually indicate how, but any donations that you do, any monetary value that you add to the channel today goes directly to the Trevor Project. You can also donate directly $30 to add what is called a black spot or a complication to make things a little more complicated for our players. Since we are using module, it's going to be a little more restricted than it normally is, but don't worry, I've still got stuff planned. And then also, if we had Hype Train, I will sing a shanty because I haven't done that for a while. So
Yay! This is the best day ever!
Wait. Single $45 donation for also sea shanty? Do it.
see, I know you're saying that because you're just going to donate $45. No, you got to hit a Hype
I'm
Train.
not. I have literally dumped all my money into charity this month.
All right, yeah, single $45 and
Yes, someone do it.
single
I will
$45. I'll sing a
update
sea
the
shanty.
bot.
I've got a couple prepared. Okay, so the rumor unmoors, goes out actually into the main part of the cove. You're passing by a couple of ships, and even like the few people that are still on the ships, the ones that weren't superstitious, are just kind of shaking their heads as you go by. But you make it through the entirety of the cove without any issues. The water seems still. What are all of you doing? You're kind of approaching the lighthouse, which is a straight shot out of the cove. What are you keeping lookout? Is there anything you're doing on the ship itself?
Is this, I know it's only a single little baby single mast. Is there a crow's nest?
It is Crow's Nest.
Yeah, I'm up
So
there.
think kind of like a little bit bigger than Jack Sparrow's first boat in Pirates of the Caribbean, the one
okay,
that he was
okay.
kind of sinking on. Yeah.
God. I love that scene. Yeah, I'm up in the crow's nest, keeping an eye out for any particularly monstrous under the waves happenings.
Okay. If you are keeping a lookout, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Is this water still empty?
As far as you can tell, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not seeing any ocean life.
23.
23. Okay. Anybody else? What are the rest of you doing?
My eyes are closed and I'm sitting on the floor hugging the mast.
Okay. Okay.
Wynni would like to be like mixing a little cocktail of her own. I think I still have access to this feature. She would like to make an elixir, please, and thank you.
Go for it.
I can't remember who rolls the d6.
You can. Well, yeah. She will have it for next game, so it's okay.
3.
Okay.
And I will hand that to Letty and say, hey, this might help.
With her eyes closed, she's reaching out, trying to feel what she's talking about.
And Wynni will, like, put the flask, like, in, like, grab her wrist and, like, put the, flask in her hand. And uncork it for her.
I'm gonna open one eye. What is this?
It's to help. It's something I just made. It doesn't have any like alcohol in it, probably. Yeah, just go ahead and
I'm gonna drink the whole thing.
Cool.
Wynni, what happens to Letty?
The drinker gains a +1 bonus to AC for 10 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
So, Letty, what's higher? I'm assuming your dexterity is higher than your strength?
Yeah.
Okay. So, there's like this kind of jolt of energy. You essentially drink like a Monster Energy drink. You have like a little more like movement and like swiftness to you, so you can essentially, because monks use their dexterity as part of their AC to like dodge stuff. You're a little more like swift on your feet, just like 1 point swifter.
Oh. Cool. I don't like this, but that's cool. Thank you. And she's gonna close her eyes again. She's like got like the energy shivers as she's hugging the mast.
Okay, so other question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I need to, as character needs to roll, because I'm trying not to meta this. Am I aware that most of the people in this party, based on the way they look, could probably deal with being underwater, if you know what I'm asking?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Except for one of them.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, not knowing if Letty has any type of magical equipment or not. Tritons live deepest, and it's kind of up to you whether your particular community interacts with others, but Gil respects Gil. So, yeah, you have Water Genasi, Sea Elf, Merfolk, Triton, and then
Letty.
Letty.
All right, so that being the case...
Sheila is a half elf too, so you would know that she would not be able to necessarily.
Okay, well, I'm not worried about her right now,
Okay.
because I'm more concerned with these other people that have decided to become my friends, because I told Sheila I was going to get friends. This being the case, friends, yeah. I don't know anything worse than that. Eden walks over to Letty and was like, hey friend, I see you're quite uncomfortable around the water with the fact that you are holding on to this piece of wood for dear life and haven't opened your eyes the entire time we've been on this boat.
I opened them once.
Okay, well, so I'm going to touch Letty. I'm just gonna go and get this out of the way, and I'm gonna cast water breathing last for 24 hours.
Okay.
So I just want you to know that thanks to my special abilities, should you fall off the boat, you'll be fine.
So
Okay.
even when you cast this spell, does she grow gills, or is it more of just like she can now process water as
She
would
can just
normally do?
process water. Because
Okay.
they keep their part of the spell is you keep your normal mode of respiration. So I don't want to scare
Fair.
Letty and like give her gills and everything. Like I just want her to be okay. However, to drive this point home that she is going to be okay, I would then like to use my at-will water shaping and shape a small square of water right in front of Letty's face.
I like to think that I'm on top just watching this happen
To prove the fact that she is okay.
from like 10 feet above.
Okay, so do you roll or do I roll for the percentage as to whether or not the equipment I have equipped shocks me when it gets wet?
That's an interesting question.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Let's
it's
go
fine.
ahead and roll. We'll make this a percentile thing.
Like
Go
even
ahead
in
and
front of
roll-
your face?
You've got a cube of water essentially that is,
Yeah.
and I mean probably dripping just a little bit. Go ahead and roll a
Oh,
D100.
Okay. All right. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. 48.
48. Okay, you are not shocked.
Okay.
Here's what I'm going to say to make this fun, Jamie, because you're so into this. I'm going to increase the difficulty of the D100 every single time. Okay.
So does it hit her?
So it's like in front of you, so you can like push your
My
head
eyes
into
are
it if
closed.
you want.
So
Okay, then
That's-
I will gently like cube into Letty's face.
Just put it
Okay.
through your horns.
So it hits me? Like, I feel it then?
You would notice that your head is like all of a sudden surrounded by a cube of water.
Okay. Ah! And she's gonna flail her hands in front of her.
But do you notice as you
Wow.
scream that you can breathe?
I don't think that she is able to perceive that at the moment. So, no.
Speaking
Nope.
of perception, Coral, with the 23, you're kind of keeping an eye out to the water. There are waves moving. It's kind of tough because it is about midday at this point, so the light is kind of glinting off from the sun or from the waves themselves. But it's kind of like it's the same thing when people like look for sea monsters or lake monsters now. God, I'm such a fucking nerd. It's like, oh, just like little like bumps in the water. It's like, oh, is that it? No, it's a wave. But there's something above the water that catches your attention first. You actually see a seagull that's flying directly towards you. And it kind of slows down, kind of flaps its wings to slow down, and it lands right on the edge of the crow's nest. And it looks at you and it tilts its head just a little bit, and then its head just snaps back and the beak opens very wide. And without like moving its beak at all, it says, this is a message from Lucian Skyhorn. This is a message from the lighthouse. We've been attacked by sea monsters. Please send help as quickly as possible. And then the beak just like shuts and the bird just flies off.
I think Coral will spend a split second being extremely disturbed about what they just witnessed. I've never witnessed that kind of communication before, and then I will go ahead and rappel down. From
I
the
would like to
crow's
say
nest.
I'm not at the bottom of it anymore. When that happened, she kind of like pushed and rolled back out of the water, and now is sliding across the deck to just like 5 feet back.
Coral, as your feet hit the deck, a jolt shudders through the ship. And it's almost like hitting a speed bump, essentially. And you all are jolted just a little bit, not necessarily off your feet. But you would all look over as, from on the side of the ship, a massive sea monster is rising out of the water. But it's not a sea serpent. It's not a kraken. It's made of water. Yes.
Do I have any idea what this is?
You might. Go ahead and roll Arcana.
As a water genasi, would I?
You've spent some time around the water. I would say if those of you who are not Letty may roll Arcana or Nature. Sorry, Letty, you're scared of the water. You wouldn't know what to... Yeah.
17.
Equally trash rolls for me, but let's see. That's a 6. I've never seen water before.
Totally foreign.
That's a 13. Or
Water is
not
what?
13,
Is
that's
that
23.
15.
Do math.
Okay. So, Scarlet, you have a pretty good idea what this is. Coral, you, like, for a split second, you're like, no, it doesn't look right. But Wynni and Eden, this could only be one thing. It's not shaped like it normally is supposed to be. It's a water elemental. But it's much, much larger. And it's taken the form of, like, a sea dragon. It has, like, almost a watery frill going down its back and a maw which opens up. And I'm going to need everybody to roll for initiative, please.
Can, real quick, Wynni just, like, look over at Eden and in Aqua and just sort of say, like, maybe don't tell her what it is exactly?
Tell who?
Wait, can you speak
Letty.
Aquan above the water?
Oh shit, no, I don't think you
No.
can. Psych.
It's a water only.
I got a
You can speak
22.
primordial. A 22?
I don't know Primordial.
Yeah, like I only speak
yeah,
primordial or
That's a
druidic.
Well,
Yes,
okay, so
I
Aquan
could speak
actually-
it if I knew it.
Aquan is a dialect of primordial.
It's an 8 for initiative from Scarlet.
Oh, okay.
It's a 19 for Wynni.
22.
Also 20. Okay.
We just have the same stats, I think, Letty. Like all around.
Do
This
either of
many.
you... This many... Oh, jeez. Okay. So...
I rolled a 1. So this many.
Coral and Letty, I will leave it up to you who goes first.
I don't know, I'll roll off.
I know
Or
you
who
go.
has higher decks, we can go either way.
Oh no. Okay, mine's a +3.
+5.
You go,
Okay.
please.
Coral, go for it.
Okay. I am going to go ahead and, have my little crossbow ready here.
Can I ask one question quick?
Mm-hmm.
Please do while I get my shit together.
Have I seen it now at this point? Do I see it?
Did you open your eyes?
Yeah, well, I did after I rolled back to see what happened because
Then
My
yeah.
eyes.
Yeah, when that bump hit, if you didn't shut your eyes with
no,
that...
wait. So here's what. So I rolled back. I was just doused in water.
Mhm.
There's a giant thud. I open my eyes and there's a sea dragon.
Just like literally looming over the ship. Also keeping pace with it, by the way, because the ship is still moving forward.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Cool. So she's just standing. She's just like sitting there, like with her arms at her side, with her eyes open, just staring at it.
Yeah, I will ready my hand crossbow. Where the fuck is it? I'm so sorry, I don't know where I put it.
Looking.
Whatever, I'm shooting it, so
Okay.
I'm gonna do that. Just don't know why it's not on my on this character sheet, it's on my other one. I am so sorry.
Okay.
There you are. Okay. So 1d6 plus 3 piercing, but let me go ahead and roll to hit. See how that goes for me. That is an 11.
11 is not going to hit. Is there anything else for your turn?
Just load another bolt. And
Okay.
maybe yell. For those who haven't already noticed that there is a sea dragon.
Do you want to like bonus action disengage, anything like that?
No.
Okay. All right. Letty, it is your turn.
How far away from the boat is it?
It is looming over the boat. It is
Oh.
almost encroaching onto it. There's like a pillar of water that it is coming out of, and it is like essentially cresting over the rumor at this point.
Okay. I think she's gonna hide behind the mast
Mm-hmm.
and try to gather herself.
Okay. That's a free action.
Okay. Who's the closest person to me right now?
Probably Eden.
Okay. It's gonna lean around the mast. Eden! Eden!
What?
Eden! What? What the fuck do I do? Okay.
Can you like throw something at it? Can you punch it? I don't.
She's gonna climb up the mast and she's gonna hold on. Like she's gonna climb like, how tall is it?
Maybe about like 15 feet.
She's gonna climb maybe 10 feet up. And she's gonna hold on.
Okay.
She's gonna wait.
Go ahead and roll me for athletics. We'll see how tight you can hold on.
Shit. 11.
Okay.
It's fine.
Wynni, it is your turn.
Wynni takes a quick second to like take everything in. What Cora was doing, what where Letty went, and she would like to toss a little packet of a dry powder at this column of water, just like a little mix of stuff intended to like soak it up a little bit, and she would like to effectively cast Reduce.
Okay. What is the save for that?
14.
And what kind of save?
Con. Definitively. Con.
Wynni, that was a nat 1. You have successfully reduced this large elemental to medium size. Mm-hmm. So the pillar of water still kind of exists, but the overall structure of the sea dragon essentially compresses, and almost like condenses in a way. It gets chunky in some parts, and some of the water kind of disperses out of it, and it is now kind of like almost slams down, so it kind of splashes over the deck as this water elemental has now become medium size. What does that mean for its stats overall?
What did I say? Reduce? It is disadvantage on strength checks and saving throws. And its weapons are reduced, so attacks deal 1d4 less damage.
1d4 less. Okay. Anything else for your turn?
She's gonna take a quick second to go, aw, because it's itty bitty now, comparatively. Otherwise, no one was hurt, so she's just gonna call up to Letty and like, see, it's little now.
That's so great.
And she's gonna stay where she is. That's it for her turn.
Okay. It is now the elemental's turn, and Wynni, since you're the one who has successfully hit this thing, it is going to come up to you. It's going to make 2 slam attacks. But actually, the kind of serpenty head tilts a little bit when it looks at you, and in common, all of you can hear as it says, "I'm so sorry. I really don't want to do this." And it's gonna hit you. Well, it's gonna try to hit you 2 times as the kind of claws come slashing at you.
Did it just talk?
Oh, it wants to be a friend.
So Wynni, that is a 13 and a 22.
She's gonna sidestep the first one and then get absolutely wrecked by the second one.
So that is it's 13 minus 10 points of bludgeoning damage as the water just slams into the side of you.
Is squeaking a free action?
It is. Okay. Squeaking and crying.
She would like to squeak.
Squeak she does.
Let's hear it.
Scarlet, it is your turn.
Did I hear it talk?
You did.
I'm just gonna stare at it and be confused like. And I am just going to summon one of my tentacles of the deep.
Okay.
Just have it hanging out and holding my action until it does something else.
All right. Then last in the order, Eden.
Okay, so it said it's sorry, so it's clearly like It's clearly upset about the fact that it's attacking us, but I don't know why. I'm trying to use my Triton brain to figure out. Normally, water elementals aren't apologetic when they punch you in the face. I imagine my character would know that.
Well, with the rule you had, you would also know water elementals can't speak common.
You know, that's a good point, too. You make an excellent point. I'm trying to figure out, like, that changes my entire plan that I just had. Because I was gonna do some terrible things. Actually,
do it anyway. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
I'm gonna use my bonus action because I'll end up holding my normal action. But as a bonus action, I'm going to activate Wild Shape using my class feature. So everyone that can see me, all of a sudden, Eden starts like glowing this like vibrant orange yellowish color as these little like dots appear all over her. I'm gonna activate Archer for Starry Form, which as part of that bonus action, I immediately get to make a ranged spell attack. Cool, and I just turn it on. And then I'm gonna hold my main action, which was gonna be to punch it even harder, but I'm gonna hold that. But I will go ahead and take the bonus one just to plink it. It's just a small ranged attack that does some amount of damage.
Go for it.
Does a 22 hit it?
It certainly does.
All right, it takes 11 points of radiant damage if the type matters.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna hold the rest of my action.
Okay.
I'm just like a
what are you holding
glowy
your
ball
action?
of pew pew.
What are you holding your action for?
I'm gonna attack. Like I am ready to. I was going to guiding bolt it in the face, but if something else appears, because clearly, like you said, like I know that this elemental should not be speaking common.
Mm-hmm.
So if something else were to happen that I go, that would be a better thing to punch in the face.
Okay.
I'd like to
so
punch
if we
that.
get right around to your second turn,
Mhm.
we'll add your guiding bolt to whatever you can do. Then we'll kind of just tack that on.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay. I'll make note of that. And we're back to top of the order with Corporal.
Music is the bomb.
Thanks. I had to spend a lot of time on it today.
It's so good. So I think that after my crossbow's ready to go, loaded up, before I let another one rip, I'm going to yell at it, "Why are you doing this?" So I will roll to attack while I do
Okay.
that.
Yeah, go ahead and roll for attack.
That's slightly better. That is a 13 to hit.
13 just barely misses.
Okay. Well, that's fine. I can still yell at it.
When you actually do shoot your
Oh,
crossbow
I
bolt,
didn't
right,
add the plus to hit. There's a plus
Okay.
5.
then that would definitely hit.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm new.
You're
I'm
okay.
new here. Okay, sweet. So then 1d6. That's going to do 7 points of
So,
piercing damage.
all right. So as the crossbow bolt, like, literally shoots directly through the water,
Yeah, it's
You
not
can-
to do anything.
well, it does do damage, but the head actually turns to you, and in response, in comment says, I really don't want to. They're making me. And after the crossbow bolt is well past, you actually hear it go, ow! All right. So you almost feel like it's reacting to something external, not the crossbow bolt. Anything else for your turn?
Let me see. Nothing here, no. I will just reload another bolt because I'll keep fighting this thing if I have to.
Yeah. Coral, you would see that you are getting incredibly close to the lighthouse at this point. Letty, it is your turn. You are halfway up the mast.
How
2/3 up the mast.
How far away is it from me?
I mean, it's 10 feet or less. It's not that big of a boat.
Okay. So, seeing it attack Wynni,
Mm-hmm.
she's going to scream, "That's my best friend!" And she's going to leap off the mast, and she's going to superhero land on top of it and just punch down.
Okay, go ahead and roll for an attack.
Oh, okay. I'm so scared right now. Okay. 22?
22 hits.
All right. All right. Okay. So now how do we determine whether or not it's thunder or lightning damage with the gloves?
That is up to you. We
Like
we can basically like one hand is thunder, the other is lightning, or it can be something that you actively choose to do. By the way, everybody, this is a homebrew magic item. This is thunder or storm wrap.
Storm wrap.
So yeah, Letty has the power of the tempest in her fists.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna do lightning
Okay.
when I punch down. So now my question is,
Mhm.
do I add damage to the damage that I just did with? Do I add any other additional damage with that?
So you get a +1 to your attack rolls and your
Yes.
damage rolls.
Oh, perfect. Okay, 10 damage.
Okay. So 10 lightning damage.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So as Letty, you come jumping off of this mast, and you like hero pose, come slamming down with your electrically charged fist, like something out of anime. You watch as the electricity shudders through this water elemental. You pass directly through it because it is a water elemental, and because of that, go ahead and roll a D100.
42.
Okay. You successfully charge that damage. It actually does double damage.
Oh!
And you watch as the structure of this thing like breaks apart in some areas. The water actually comes splashing down as pieces of almost like wounds on this watery structure start to break apart.
I would just like to say, while this is happening, she is screaming and flailing her hands around trying to get it off of her.
Do you have a bonus attack or anything like that?
No, I think she's just gonna roll back.
Okay. Roll back you do.
Yep.
Wynni, it is your turn.
This thing sounds like a friend. She doesn't really want to hurt a friend. But on the other hand, it's being pretty mean. So, she is, she would like to, she doesn't really want to, but she is going to cast Ray of Sickness. Which is just going to be like a little, it's just like a sad little, wilty piece of kelp. that she's gonna try and like chuck like right in its like head region. And that's another oh no, I'm sorry, I have to roll for it. Kinda what I'm doing. 24.
It hits.
Finally, some good news. That is 7.
What type of damage?
Poison?
Okay.
And it has to make a Constitution saving throw.
It does not. It is immune to poison.
It does not, then.
Yeah, you cast your poison at this thing and literally watch as it just disperses in the water and kind of flows backwards into the ocean.
Huh.
Abigail, it's your turn.
Friend, it's not a friend.
I tried to not friend it, and it just...
You. Are you okay?
I don't
Am I okay?
have a really nice bruise. I think you're okay. You're okay, right?
She's gonna cry.
Anything else for your turn?
No.
Okay. Letty, having done, I believe, the most damage out of anybody, and being closest to this thing, it is going to use its special action, which is called Whelm. So I need you to make a DC 15 strength saving throw.
Okay. Hurting.
Okay. So you are going to take, what is that? 13 points of bludgeoning damage. You are currently grappled as this thing essentially overwhelms you. You are not drowning, thanks to Eden. You are still able to breathe, but essentially the torrent of water is spinning so quickly around you inside of this thing, inside the snake-like structure of this thing, that you are restrained by it.
Okay.
And it's here you realize that you can breathe, as you're clearly screaming.
Tried to hold her breath, but then she started screaming. Then the water filled her lungs and she could still breathe. And now she's both confused, overwhelmed, terrified,
And whelmed.
I'm overwhelmed and
Thoroughly
regularly
whelmed.
She doesn't know. She just kind of freezes in this moment, not understanding what's going on, but knowing she is surrounded by the thing that she hates more than anything in the world. And she's just crying and adding to the water that's around her.
Scarlet, it is your turn.
After seeing it whelm Letty, I will attack it with my spectral tentacle.
Okay.
That's a 9. That's not gonna.
9 will not.
Still very just staring at it, very confused. What is going on?
Is that for your turn?
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Eden, it is your turn.
Okay, so I have now seen this thing that is holding her. Oh, we're back to my turn. So I have.
You get your guiding bolt. Sure.
Okay. So that's gonna unload, and then I get a bonus action for being an archer form, and I'm gonna plink it again. So that's gonna happen, and then I want to see what happens when I unload on this thing, honestly, because I do a lot of damage. All right, let me roll to hit it. That's an 18 on the die, so does a 20 math? Does a 26 hit it?
It has an AC of 14. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So it's going to take 46 points of radiant damage.
Yeah, well.
7, 13. Takes 16 points of radiant damage. And then as part of that, the next attack made on this target before the end of your next turn also has advantage. So that means my bonus action plink is rolled at advantage.
Okay.
I think that's how that works.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it just says on a hit, the target takes radiant damage, and your next attack roll made against it before your next turn has advantage because it's now like glowing.
Right. You've essentially like lit this thing up as a target, so the next attack against it has advantage.
Oh, good. I needed the advantage because I rolled.
That goes to the next person who attacks it.
Oh, does it say next person? It just says the next attack roll made against this target.
Right. So whoever attacks it next.
I'm gonna bolt it.
Oh,
as
you've
my
got
bonus
more than your
action.
turn. Okay. Yeah.
I get a bonus
go for
blink.
it. Then that's you.
Yeah. So I rolled with advantage. I rolled a 14 exactly.
That's it. That does it. Meter beat.
My rolls were bad. I rolled a 2 and oh, and minimum damage. It what is it? 1d8 plus 4 takes 5.
Eden, how do you finish off this water elemental?
Oh, okay, so I've lit it up at this point, so it is like glowing before I like plink it. And so because I am this like glowing ball of energy right now, instead of being like a traditional animal, literally it just appears as if like a radiant beam just like shoots from Eden at this thing, and it's already glowing, and it just kind of starts glowing even more. And I imagine because it's water, all these like droplets just kind of like, it kind of looks like fireworks, but water fireworks.
Sure.
As it just
With
kind
Letty
of
inside.
Yeah, that's fine. She's traumatized for the rest of her life, but she's fine.
So the structure of this water elemental just evaporates. And as it breaks apart, leaving just, I mean, the heaviest rain ever splashing across the deck of this ship. A single claw and a bit of the head remains, and it grips onto the edge of the ship, onto the railing, and it just says, "I am really, really sorry. You gotta stop them." And it's gone. And at this point, the rumor actually reaches close enough to the island of the Skyhorn Lighthouse and kind of runs aground in a way. Sheila was making a mad dash for it, and you have run aground. And with that, as our party has gotten to the island of the Skyhorn Lighthouse, we are going to take our break. So we'll be back in 5 to 10. As a reminder, we are raising money for the Trevor Project, so if you would love to donate, we'd really, really appreciate it. Of course, any proceeds whatsoever are going towards the Trevor Project, so that includes subscriptions, bits, regular donations. $30 donation, you can add a complication, and if we hit a hype train, I will sing a shanty. Or 2, depends on how many hype trains we have. Or a $45 direct donation.
Yeah.
Thank you. So hang out, everybody. We will be back momentarily. Do the things. Welcome back, everyone, to this prequel session of Horizon's Call, Secrets of the Skyhorn Lighthouse, or as Wynni has successfully crossed out, Wynni and Friends. Let's go ahead and pick up right where we left off. The rumor has basically crash landed onto the island of the Skyhorn Lighthouse. It is beached itself. You have defeated a strange-looking, common-speaking water elemental. And Sheila gets down from the helm, and she takes a look at the status of the rumor and just shakes her head a little bit. Well, she's not as bad as she could be. It's going to take a little bit of work to repair this, but good job handling that water elemental. Was it Benji wanted you to do? Get the lighthouse back up and running? I suppose if you wanted to do that while I was working on this.
Well, yeah, just so that what happened to you just now doesn't happen to other people who also try to navigate this stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Pats the boat affectionately. Pausing.
Did
Buddy's
they?
gonna run and leap off the boat and get on land immediately.
Did Letty tell us? I can't remember. No, not Letty. Did Coral tell us about Lucian's weird seagull message?
I don't think she got the chance to yet.
I did not get a chance to.
I will sing a shanty at some point, don't worry. I'll sing a shanty at the end.
Nice.
Okay. So Coral, Letty, and Wynni have made it to the beach. Scarlet and Eden.
Oh, I'd immediately leave the boat.
Okay.
But like I would like dive off the side into the water and swim because it's been too long.
Okay. Yeah, you can find a deeper point where you're not gonna like, hit ground right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're essentially on the beach. So yeah.
I probably like jump off the back because it's the farthest
There you
away
go.
from it, and then just like swim around for a minute.
There you go. Okay. So the island of the Skyhorn Lighthouse is relatively small. I mean, you could circumvent the entire island in 15 to 20 minutes at a decent walking pace. It's not that big. It raised up a little bit more than anything, which kind of protects the seemingly ancient structure of the lighthouse. So it's kind of raised up on a hill. Beyond the beach, there's some scrub grass. You can see that there is a small, about like knee-high retaining wall of very old stone that's so old and weathered that it's hard to tell where like one stone ends and another begins. And then there's the lighthouse itself. It is as aged as the wall itself. You can tell they were kind of built around the same time. So very, very old stone with kind of moss growing out of certain parts. There is a switchback winding staircase made of just wooden planks kind of built into the structure of the hill that lead up to it. And there is at the very top, a small gate in the wall, which is just flapping unlatched in the wind. And you can tell that the storm is rolling in more intensely at this point. It will probably be raining within the next hour. And there is no light coming from the lighthouse. There is no movement.
Wynni would like to bound up to the bottom of the stairs and just shout, "Hello, lighthouse keeper, are you here? We're here. Are you here?"
Letty's gonna walk up to the lighthouse and she's gonna pat it twice and see how sturdy it is. She's gonna
Pretty
say,
sturdy. It does not knock over.
"This is my home now. I live here now.
It doesn't seem like anyone else does, so
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
I think this is fine."
find your
Well,
keepers.
I hope that somebody's here because they sent us a message right about when that monster attacked us. Trying to warn us about that monster, actually.
Is it a
Very
stone
timely.
lighthouse?
It is.
Okay.
It is also circular. I should mention that. There's no like separate like building attached to it. It is just a single tower. Okay. So, Letty, having walked up to the lighthouse itself, traversing the switchback steps, they're somewhat slippery, but you keep your footing pretty successfully as a monk, especially. You pass through the swinging gate and you pat the side of the lighthouse. It's pretty quiet. It's not even like really any seagulls or anything like that. Just the sound of the storm rolling in, some thunder rolling through the sky.
It's really quiet here.
There's a single door, very aged, weathered wooden door.
Is it unlocked?
Do you want to check?
Yeah.
Okay. You give the handle a little turn, and it seems unlocked.
Does it pull open or push?
Pushes.
She's gonna like push it in a little bit, and she's gonna peek her face in the crack of the door.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for. Are you just like looking around, or are you looking for anything specific?
No, just looking around.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for perception.
Okay. Oh, hello? I'm sorry, this is broken. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. 5.
Even with your dark vision, it's pretty dark in here. See a couple tables. There's like something on the table. You can't really tell what. It's a mess in there, though. There's a whole bunch of stuff everywhere. I don't know. See a couple of doors, maybe some stairs.
She's gonna turn around to. Is anybody behind her, or did anybody follow me, or am I by myself? You did? Okay. She's gonna turn to Wynni, and she's gonna say, "It definitely looks like people could live in here. It looks messy, like people did live here."
That's promising.
She's gonna open the door further, like all the way open, and then look back at Wynni. She's gonna be like,
I don't know what that means, but yeah, okay.
"Okay, cool." And she's gonna walk in.
Coral, Scarlet, and Eden, what are you doing? You
Is
along
it-
for the ride on this one, or are you
Like-
hanging back?
Yeah, from when I watch Letty open the door, it is dark inside of the lighthouse. Pretty like I have dark vision, but it appears to not be lit in any way.
There are windows. It's dim. There's just not a lot of light coming from the sky with the overcast clouds. Letty just didn't really open the door all the way to get a good look.
I cracked it open.
I'd like to ask Letty if she needs a flashlight.
No, I'm okay. I'm really good at seeing when it's not light.
Because I'm essentially a walking flashlight at this point.
You can come if you want. I'm just saying I can see when it's dark.
I didn't know that. You can't breathe water. How was I supposed to know you can see when it's dark?
You didn't. I was just letting you know because you asked if I needed. I was answering your question, water lady.
I will follow them in as the light source.
And at this very moment, I realized none of us know each other's names.
No, I think we did introduce.
I
We did.
tried.
Vinny introduced us at the dock.
Yes.
We know
Except
each
for
other's
Scarlet.
names. We don't know your name.
Right.
You're
We know
Smiley.
our names.
Okay, so at this point, for those of you entering, are you moving stealthily? And if so, stealth rolls, Eden with disadvantage.
I'm stealthy too. That's the
Would not be.
Shine in that light.
Letty would just walk in.
Okay.
I feel like Wynni is talking to Letty about the interior decorating possibilities.
Yes. So I feel like I would be stealthy, hanging back a little bit, kind of just I almost go in and kind of stand against the wall to, like I said, to be a little light source so we can figure out what's going on here. So I would definitely be being stealthy, even at disadvantage, because I'm usually stealthy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be busting up in there like the Kool-Aid man. But
Oh my God.
definitely
This dice, I
kinda,
can't see where the
sneak
line is.
around. I'm not a rogue.
I got a 14 even. Ugh.
But I got a 16.
I'm very stealthy, but I'm not inside. I think that after I've given them the information of this place shouldn't be empty, somebody sent a message. I'm chilling outside. I'm gonna see if any of these people die before I go in.
Hi, Coral.
I
I was
love-
thinking there would be really nice curtains over on that window. And then a nice rug in the entryway.
Winnie would like to look around, first of all, at the very good curtain and rug locations, but also if things are looking a little abandoned and a little old, maybe there's some old artifacts here.
So,
I did
curtain
wanna
rug
ask-
locations aside, you all see the dead body first.
Oh!
Oh.
That's the
You
thing on the
like-
table.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh.
So when I
You're
open
gonna
the
want a
door,
new table, I
when I
think.
open the door and walk in, there's a dead body on the table.
There is a dead body on the table. The room is in ramshackle. There are broken barrels. Several of the chairs have been smashed. One of the tables is kind of leaning with one of the legs broken, so it's just 3 legs with one table's kind of sliding down. There are torn tapestries, torn bits of paper, broken ceramics. You can kind of maybe guess plates, things like that. And then, yes, the most identifying thing is there is a large deceased half-orc man who has a rather nasty-looking spear driven through his chest and actually through the table as well. He is dressed in almost like a blue kind of tabard with a kind of a gold medallion pinned to his upper left chest.
Are you okay? I don't think he's okay.
He's not okay.
No.
I think upon hearing Letty, I will approach and how tall is everyone? Just while I'm thinking about it.
I'm a very short tiefling. I'm
tiny.
5'4", 5'5".
Okay, small.
Yeah.
Everybody else?
small.
I always forget about Wynni. I
Scarlet's
think
not
she's
5'8".
5'4".
Small.
Small.
Okay. Scarlet? Are you small
5'8".
as well? 5'8". Okay. I'm tall as shit, so I can actually see over. So I'm just trying to keep line of sight in my brain. So I imagine that I hear Letty go, "Are you okay?" And I look in and I just see a fucking corpse attached to the table.
Oh no, we didn't do this. It was already here.
I didn't think that you did. I hadn't seen you carry a spear, but I assume this is our lighthouse keeper.
Is there a way for me to tell how long it's been deceased?
You can do a medicine check.
While
I
you're
sure
doing
can.
a medicine check, I'm going to rifle through his pockets.
Coral.
Wynni would also,
I want to find out more about him. I don't know who this guy is.
Wynni would also like to rifle through his pockets.
Wynni!
You're gonna have to fight me.
Wynni wants
I
to
got
be
your fist.
sneaky about it because it seems vaguely inappropriate.
I'm also going to roll to slap her hands away.
It's very inappropriate.
Well, that's why she's
Okay.
being sneaky about it. People get weird about it.
Letty is going to examine the spear
Okay.
and look at
Okay.
its craftsmanship and how it's made.
Coral, Wynni, Letty, investigation checks. Eden. Your
23.
medicine check? 23. This person has been dead for about a week and a half.
Oh, about the same time the sea monster attacked. How convenient.
Funny how that works.
I got a 7.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
I would like to modify my roll. I have not rolled yet.
Okay.
I want to qualify it.
Yes.
What if I don't want to investigate? What if I want to seem like I'm investigating, but really I want to take his shit? Can I do deception?
So investigation is what you can find on him.
Shit. Okay, fine.
We could say sleight of hand if you want to do that.
Ah, that would be
Especially
great.
If you're trying to
Oh.
beat Wynni out on this.
Oh,
Yes.
Go,
wait.
Wynni, you can do sleight of hand
That's
too.
exactly what's happening.
17.
You absolute monsters.
I am appalled that they are like pilfering this dead person. Is there any water nearby?
Coral and Wynni just end up like holding hands in one of the pockets.
20, 21, 22, 23.
Okay. Coral gets there first. Coral's real pretty. Okay. Coral, you go through one of the pockets while Wynni goes to the other. Coral, what you find first, you find a number of coins. You're pretty like fluent at pickpocketing at this point, so you can tell when something feels off. You get a handful of coins, you get a handful of 5 gold, but then there's one that's sizably larger. And if you're familiar with what a challenge coin is, it's like almost the size of, like even bigger than a $50. It's a sizable, chunky coin. And it's seemingly made of different types of metal. You know, we could have you make a roll if you want to figure out what kind, but the most identifying thing about it is it has symbols on either side. And one of the symbols actually matches the pendant on this guy's lapel. And it is the symbol of essentially the top of a lighthouse.
Okay, does
And
anyone...
the symbol,
Sorry, go ahead. No, you.
I was gonna say the other side of the coin are 2 crossed keys.
Anyone recognize this?
Do we?
Do
None
we?
of you would. I don't think. No, I don't know everyone's backstory, but this is. I'm not sure this is anything any of you would have come across before. Especially not Letty, not liking water. Wynni, you would see that this person was armed. They did have a short sword. They have an empty scabbard, and the short sword is lying a couple of feet away. Claim that if you want. You could absolutely get the lapel pin since that is on your side of the corpse. This person didn't really have much else on them. I mean, besides just what they were wearing. Unless you want to like fully Skyrim this person and just like leave them in their skivvies. Okay, and then Letty.
Yeah.
With your investigation check. This spear. What was your roll?
18.
18. Okay. This spear is. It's not like anything you've seen before. It seems like it's been in the water for a very long time. The head of it is metal, but it is thoroughly rusted. It's jagged, almost has like teeth to it, like something you would use for fishing. You know, where you pull it out actually does more damage. It would catch whatever it inserts into. The pole arm of it actually almost seems like driftwood, and it has barnacles attached to different parts of it, different types of sea life, which are now not alive anymore. But it seems like this thing was pulled out of the water after being down there for years.
Huh. Is it wet?
It's not currently. And Eden, you would be with your highest passive to give you guys an idea of the rest of the room. So, like I said, this is a tower, but you only are getting essentially half of it. It's essentially been cut through the middle of the circle. So this is a half circular room. It has the two tables. There are on the other side, the wall essentially has two doors. One of them is slightly ajar. The other one is closed. And Eden, from the closed door, you would hear movement on the other side.
I'm gonna open the door.
Okay.
Realistically, she wouldn't know any better. We're looking for people. There's noise on the other side of the door. I'm gonna open the door.
Eden, on the other side of this door is a smaller room. There are two beds, so a couple of chests, but there's something going through the chest, and there's something on one of the beds. And Eden, I'm not sure you would have seen what these things are before. They look like eels, but if eels were people. They are bipedal, have two arms, elongated heads with a frill going down the back. And as you open the door very nonchalantly, they turn to you and hiss. And I'm going to need everybody to roll for initiative again.
Eels aren't supposed to be able to walk. I'm confused.
They got legs. It's magic. It's D&D shit.
You're welcome. I opened the door and found stuff.
That's a 7.
18.
$15.
And Letty?
19.
19. All right. Letty, you are first.
Oh, wait, no. I gotta go, right? 20.
Oh, you got 20. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. Yeah.
No, it's okay. I was waiting. I don't like to speak over people.
You're okay, Tracy. Okay. And then... Coral. Okay. All right. Yeah, Eden, you are up. So, face-to-face with two of these. I will say one of them is smaller than the other. The one that's on the bed, it's kind of just laying there, but its head kind of pops up before the rest of its body does, and it grabs for a spear. It's smaller, more compact. The other one is much larger, much more muscular, and is not as heavily armored, but seems just all around beefier than the other.
Which one hissed at me? Both of them?
Both, yeah. Yeah, but the one of them is prone. I mean, you're pretty much within melee of both, but...
I mean, I don't melee anything. Come on. I am a glowing beacon of light that pew-pews things like a laser.
Mhm.
So one is prone. The beefier one, like you mentioned, the prone one is reaching for a spear. Does the beefier one appear armed at all?
It is not.
Okay, so I would like to make a statement and attack the one that is prone on the bed. So that maybe the
Okay.
unarmed one chooses not to attack me.
Okay.
I'm going to use my bonus action because I'm still a beacon of light to go plink easily, ideally. Wait, range versus prone, do I lose ability? I never remember.
I mean, traditionally, yes, but this is prone that is raised. I mean, you're essentially like shooting down at this thing. It's not like you're shooting an arrow from a distance at something that is laying down. I'm not going to give you this advantage on this.
Okay, I'm going to use one of my 4 rerolls because that was garbage. All right, does a 16 hit it?
16 does.
Okay, so it takes 7 points of radiant damage from my archer ability as a druid.
Okay.
And then, yeah, you know what? Aiden likes to make statements, so I'm going to cast my second of 3 guiding bolts for today. Just punch in the face. I'm assuming that a 22 hits it since I hit it on a 16. Okay, it's gonna take 46 points of damage. 4, 7, 13, 18 points of radiant damage, and the next person who attacks at advantage.
Okay.
Until my next turn. I'm assuming someone's going to hit it before my next turn.
What's going on?
There's some... I'm confused because I think these are eels, but eels don't have legs, and they hissed at me, and there's weapons, and so I shot it with a ton of light.
There are legless things hissing at you in the other room?
They have legs. They shouldn't have legs, though. They look like eels, and I'm so confused.
Okay.
Wait, am I within melee range of one of them?
Oh, sorry.
The bigger one, yes.
Would stepping back provoke?
It would.
Okay, then I'm gonna stand here and tank it like the beacon of Triton light that I am.
It is going to, it's going to use 3 melee attacks because you were essentially standing in a doorway. It doesn't have another option. So it is going to bite and claw at you.
Does it go in between me and Letty?
I'm at the...
Yeah.
I'm not gonna move.
Oh, like in between initiative, yes.
Yeah. I needed to ask if I moved if it would provoke, so I'm not going to move.
Yes.
Okay, so I am done with my turn.
Yeah, it also rolled a 20. I just also like to
Okay, got it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I like to let players go first when it comes to that sort of thing.
Come at me, bro.
Okay, so that is a 25, a 24, and a 20. Yeah. Okay. All right, so this is going to be...
I think you hit me.
I think
3
so.
times.
Pretty sure. I'll have to look it up.
It says, right here it says 15s.
Yeah, no, I looked it up. Okay. So that is 17 plus 8. So 25.
I'm still up after the... Is that everything or is that just the first hit?
That is everything.
Okay, I'm still up.
So it essentially claws at you twice, and then the eel-like head tries to bite into your shoulder. And this thing is rather large. So I think that is, that's it for its turn.
Yeah, Eden would scream from the other room though, because that is a lot of damage. Like
you all can see this thing. Eden is standing in the doorway. You watch as this hulking eel, like, just grabs her and takes a chunk.
Okay.
All right, Letty, it is your turn.
So upon seeing this, because you said we saw that happen.
Oh,
I was talking to her and then it bit into her.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna panic and try to pull the spear out of this corpse as a weapon.
Okay.
It's just like out of reflex. She doesn't know what to do. She's panicked. She has just been through this insane trauma and she's gonna pull it out of him. Because she's looking at it and she's focused on it. And she's gonna pull it out.
Yeah, no roll for that. I like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
You got an eel folk spear. What are you gonna do with it?
She's gonna go. Where is this door from where she is?
So it's kind of like diagonally from you, so
that I can see into the room.
Not really from where you are. You're kind of like on so the door is like right here, you're down here in the circle. So you can kind of see angularly.
Could I get there?
You can't. Yeah, absolutely. It's a relatively smaller space.
Okay, so yeah, she's gonna like take the spear and she's gonna like roll over there, and then it is Eden between me and them. Or are they sharing a space? What's now that he bit her? What's happening?
Yeah, so she's kind of standing in the doorway. You would be able to maneuver past if you wanted to.
Okay, yeah.
They did like a melee thing and then it stood back. It's not grappling her, so they're not sharing a space.
Letty is gonna try and slide. Eden, do you have legs? Or do you have... Okay, so I'm gonna try and slide between Eden's legs. And once I slide through, I'm gonna swipe up with that spear and try to attack this thing.
Yeah, okay.
So what do I need to roll for that?
Just an attack.
Oh,
Chamber, that's pretty fucking cool. I'm just gonna let you do that.
And you have advantage.
You do.
So I got 22. Should I roll again with advantage for natural 20?
You can, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. No, we're gonna go with 22.
Okay.
Yeah. And then...
What's your damage? A spear is 1d6 plus your dexterity.
Yes.
Unless you're doing two-handed. Which I assume you would.
Well, that was what kind of like, yeah, would have been the plan.
So I think that's 1d8 then. I think.
Okay. 10.
10 points of damage?
Yes.
All right. Anything else for your turn?
I think she would... You said it has teeth on it, right? So when it goes
through, it does. When
you pull it back out, it would do damage. Or at least she could try to pull him down to the ground. Or no.
Mechanically...
If she slid by, stabbed up, and then tried to pull down, is that possible? I'm trying to picture it in my head.
I would say that would be a contested strength roll.
Okay, I mean, I'll do it.
Yeah, and it actually is going to be at disadvantage for a reason here in a second. So go ahead and roll a strength roll with disadvantage.
Okay. Disadvantage. 12.
This thing rolled a 22. And so as the spear kind of pierces into it, you're going to feel something that might actually be somewhat familiar based on your magic item. Because as the spear pierces into this thing, you're going to take 9 points of lightning damage as electricity that's generated from this creature passes through the spear and into you.
Awesome.
These are electric eel folk.
That's good.
Yeah, girl.
Okay, so she's gonna scream.
It's free action.
Ah, the fuck!
Anything else for your turn, Letty?
I think at that point she would let go of the spear.
Okay.
Because if it's like inside them and it shocks her, she would let it go and just... Okay. Can I stand up?
Yeah, you can use your movement for that.
All right.
Make sure you're not prone anymore. Sure.
And then she's gonna like stand monkey.
Take your stance.
Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, Wynni, it is your turn.
Wynni is ready for this. So we now have 2 people and an eel person in the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good question. Do I see the other one in the room?
Oh, yeah.
Now that I'm in there?
Yeah.
I think that, what I would very much like to do is, sprinkle a little bit of, I think I have a shell that I can just, like, smash or something, with a little bit of, not pixie dust, because that's weird, but a little bit of powdered something, to make Eden and also myself feel a bit better, honestly. And I'd like to cast Healing Word at 2nd level.
Okay.
And My dice are being mean. So, what have we got? We've got a total of 6 points.
So
of
even you
healing.
take 6 HP points back.
Actually, well,
He already stands for points.
and if anyone else is damaged, but I don't think they are.
I have 11 hit points left.
Oh my god, you also
Oh,
get
I'm
6
gonna-
hit points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, did we not
Everybody
ever
takes
heal
this.
you after you got
No.
elemental hugged?
Nope.
Yeah. Yep. Good times. Anyway, everyone, I can see, right?
I don't
Yeah, I think
no.
it's everybody who can hear you because it's a word.
Healing word.
Oh, it's healing word.
Mhm.
It's a creature. No, spell slot
Oh
level.
no, it is.
Creature of choice.
Oh, so a singular
Oh.
creature.
But then if you cast it at second or higher, the healing increases by 1d4
It's
for
an
each
extra
slot.
die. Yeah,
Yeah, we're thinking of mass healing word, which is to everyone.
Mhm.
it is. And something else that older, wiser Wynni has, but young hotshot Wynni does not. In which case, who's looking worse, Eden or?
Not me, I'm fine.
Okay, then Letty is gonna get that 6 hit points.
Okay.
I'm gonna re-damage myself. And it turns out that's a bonus action. So, I would like to, take a deep breath. And I'm gonna try that Ray of Sickness again, because it's gotta work one of these times.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus. I'm new here. That's a 23, and I can't see that die, so it is 9 points. And then I
9
also...
points. Okay.
if
You're
this-
targeting the bigger, beefier one you can see?
I assume I can only see the one, because I'm still far outside the room.
Just want to make sure. And Constitution saving throw?
14.
It does not succeed.
Then it is poisoned until the end of my next turn.
Okay. So that's disadvantage on a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeet. And I'm done.
Oh.
I'm gonna stay... I'm good out here.
Coral, it is your turn.
Got that reference. First of all, what am I supposed to do with this? I can't.
Well, I would suggest sneak attack.
I mean
because
with the kitty.
Oh, yeah. No, there's nothing you can do about
What
that.
am I supposed to do with this?
You live there now.
Yeah.
Toe beans for everyone. Second of all, you are corrected that I will be sneak attacking with my 2 short swords.
Okay.
Okay, let me get my shit together. Hello, sneak attack. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, let's just attack with the short sword, and then I will just roll to hit. Let's use the rainbow one since that's been nice to me. Well, fuck. Yeah, no, that is a 10 total.
Okay. 10 will not hit. So
Nope.
you roll twice for one. You roll once for each sword.
Ooh, okay, cool. And I also, can I spend a reroll as well?
You
Is that
can.
cool? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll just roll 2 d20s. What am I doing? Like a smart person. Okay, that's better. So 19 to hit with 1.
Yeah.
And then I have it's an 11 to hit with the other.
Okay. So the first one will hit.
Okay, cool. And then with sneak attack, it is 3d6. Is that correct for level 5?
Sounds right, and that should be an extra 1d6 for your short
1d6
sword.
plus, yeah, 1d6 plus 3. Okay, let me start do that.
So 4d6 plus 3.
Oh, okay. Let me just roll them all at once. So that's a 3, 1. Grab my other d6s. Sorry, guys. I'm new at D&D.
And you're crushing it.
Okay, so 11. Finn just ate one.
Finn, they're not candy.
Baby, no. Forbidden
7.
snackies.
18. So 20 damage total.
20 damage total. Wonderful. All right. Again, you are making a melee attack against this thing. So you are going to take 3 points of lightning damage as electricity shocks through your short sword into you.
Cool.
All right. We are now at the other eel folk's turn. It is going to grab its spear and it is going to, I guess it's going to lunge, I believe.
Oh, as a bonus action, could I disengage?
You certainly can.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Who's all in the room? There's Letty, there's Eden,
I think
Scarlet.
we're stacked at this point. Like, Letty slid under my legs, right? So Letty's in front of me and I'm still in the door.
Okay. Then yeah, it is going to make its spear attacks towards Letty then. Let's see. No. That was 2 4s. It only has a +4 hit. So that's 2 8s. It's trying to like jab around the big beefier eel, and it's missing you every single time.
Can I try to grab the spear? When it misses?
Jamie.
I don't have to. It's okay.
Do
can say no.
you have something for grabbing like arrows? There's a certain monk thing for that.
There is. Hold on. So, no, I have.
Yeah, because you're essentially trying to disarm this thing, which is like that's a special ability.
Okay, yeah. See, yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I think I don't right now. I have deflect missiles.
Okay, you can. Okay, that's right. You can deflect them later on. You're able to snatch them out of the air, and that's if it threw it. So right now it's just stabbing at you. So you're able to essentially block the attacks, but not grab the spear from its hands just yet. Okay, that is all it has. So Scarlet, it is your turn.
How many are they both still standing?
They are both still standing. One of them is looking pretty rough. The other one, about half as good as it used to, but significantly better than the
Can
other.
I get into the room even? Or is everyone
Not really.
alone?
Y'all just stacked up in that door. If you want to slide under some legs, you can do that.
Can I like
Seems to
squeeze
work.
by?
Yeah.
Squeeze in enough?
Excuse me.
Move. If I can squeeze in enough, I would love to cast Eldritch Blast.
You can cast Eldritch Blast kind of over some shoulders, under some legs.
I'll
Good, I
crouch
wanna-
down for you.
Yeah, you're taller than I am, so you could just
That's what I like to think that I was like aiming over with the short sword.
Yeah, everybody duck. Eldritch Blast coming through.
I want to split the
Your beams.
The beams.
The beans. I have some.
That's a 19 to hit.
That'll do it.
Cool.
For either or.
Cool. It is just one roll for the 2 beams, correct?
It is a separate roll for each beam.
Oh. I've never
Magic
split
missile.
them. Oh, but that's a 22.
Yes.
I don't know where any of my dice are right now. I need D10s. 1 gets 12.
Okay.
1 gets 7.
Okay. All right. With that, we are back to top of the order with Eden. It is your turn.
How bad off does the one that gave me a very aggressive hug look?
Much worse than it used to, but much healthier than the other. I would say it's probably doing better than Letty right now.
So the problem is if it hugs me again, this is not going to go well. For me.
Well, it would also have a tough time getting to you, which is the thing, because Letty is now going to take the brunt of the attacks from this thing.
Okay.
Get out of here.
Is it still within range where it would provoke from me? Or is Letty now in between us?
Letty's gotten between.
I'm engaged, so you should be able to do it without attack of opportunity.
Yes.
Okay, seems fine. Then I will, wait, Letty, how hurt are you? You look pretty bad, or you...
About half.
Okay, so since we discussed that I can do this, as my bonus action, I'm going to switch wild shapes. So the stars, I'm staying in star form, but the stars on my body, instead of looking like an archer, because I was kind of like out appendages and everything to look like an archer. Eden now looks like this, like it's the chalice. So like all of the stars have like migrated to the center of her torso, and she just looks like a giant cup. So, at this point, then I am going to reach out because I can tell that Letty looks bad. And I'm going to use my last 3rd level spell slot of the day. And I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on Letty. Chalice gives me an additional D8 plus 4. So I'm going to be rolling 4d8 plus 8. So okay. Ideally, like, because clearly Letty's doing tons of damage, and I can tell this as a smart human. Well, not a human, as a Triton, and I need to make sure that this person doesn't get punched in the face, and like, then I'm gonna get punched in the face. Literally, like, this is self-preservation at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever reason you need to keep me alive.
10, 16, 23, 23 plus 8, 31 hit points.
I'm at full health.
Look at you. All right. Eden, anything else for your turn?
Nope. Get you a druid that can do both things.
Get you a druid who can do both. Letty, feeling fully restored. Your turn.
She doesn't do that. I'm sorry. That was me. Okay.
Kill it before it can kill you. I'll like shout that as I heal her.
Good call. All right. Who's near? Are they both right now?
So essentially you have the big one in front of you, the smaller one is behind.
Okay.
So do you mind a suggestion?
Yeah, go ahead.
You have a magic item which can push enemies?
I do, and that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So I was gonna try to attack and push one into the other and knock them both back or down.
You got it.
Okay. All right, so is that just a straight attack roll then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you'll expend a charge of your magic item.
21.
That'll hit.
Okay. All right, so one charge of this. So.
And what type of damage are you choosing?
I was just gonna ask. I think I'm gonna go thunder damage for this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thunder damage. 9.
9 points of thunder damage.
And
you push them, is it 15 feet or is it 10? I can't remember what I wrote.
15. Hold on, it's 15.
Okay.
I can double check, but I'm pretty sure.
That it's
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's 15.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So
do I have to roll a
you
200 still?
Well, no, because you're not interacting with water.
Oh, you're right. And I use thunder damage, not lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So you crack of thunder, breaking the sound barrier, punch into the larger one, knocking it back with the force of concussive thunder into it. It flies into the one behind it, smashing it essentially against the wall. You have ended the one behind it as it is crushed by its friend. And then something happens.
Oh.
You see that the one that got crushed, essentially, you can kind of see this light coming from behind the larger one. And then this crackle of electricity explodes outwards. I don't believe any of you would be within range at this point. No, none of you would be, but you can actually watch as this thing essentially explodes. And the electricity surges over the larger one and is kind of absorbed into its body. And it is still looking at all of you. Harmed by your attack, unharmed by the electrical burst of its ally. And Wynni, if Letty does not have anything else, it is your turn.
Okay, so it's now Shoot, it's now 15 feet back, right?
It is. It's on the other side of the room.
Okay. I am going to take my bonus action to dash over, like, to be 5 feet away from it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hold action there. And I'm gonna, oh gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep its attention on me.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try and like move over to it.
So
And
still
maybe-
maintain melee with it.
Yes. And then that's it, right? I can't attack again.
Unless you have like extra attack or anything like that.
No. I just used my bonus action.
Okay.
How can I ask, is it with key points?
Mm-hmm.
How many do I have? 5?
Let
At
me
this
check.
level, I think it's 5. It's 1 per level, isn't it?
Monks, you have 5 key points, yes. And you
Oh.
actually do have extra attack.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
So I think I am. Yeah, I'm gonna do flurry of blows
Okay.
after I get there. Okay. Okay, can I use one of my rerolls on that?
Mm-hmm.
Battle 20! For the first
There
one.
you go.
With a reroll. And then, should I roll damage for that one, or should I roll for the second hit too?
Go ahead and just roll for the second hit so you can do all the damage together.
22. So, okay. And for the natural 20, is that double damage?
Yes. Yes, you can either double the die roll or you can roll double the amount of die.
No, I'm going to double that. So that's 16 for the first hit.
Mm-hmm.
And for the second hit, 7.
Letty, how do you finish this thing?
Okay, so I think for the first hit, I'm going to, like, I'm gonna, like, with my palm, like, I'm gonna just hit it right in the, like, center mass.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to grab it. And with my last hit, I'm going to uppercut it right in its stupid little eel face. But
Okay.
when I do, I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna snap its neck.
Okay. And as you do, this thing also starts to surge electrically. So I'm going to need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
6.
Do you want to re-roll that?
Really bad. I'm gonna re-roll that. Natural 1?
You adding your modifier
Yep.
to the first one?
Yeah, well, the first one, yes, and the second one is a 4 with my modifier.
Okay, yeah, okay. All right, well.
Okay.
You
Bye,
take
everyone.
you take 8 points of lightning damage
Oh, God.
as this thing death bursts.
Okay. Let's...
And we are now out of initiative order. So you can see that this room is also thoroughly ransacked, that these things were kind of like making themselves pretty much at home through in here, but also seemingly looking for something.
Okay, they're dead. It was quite shocking.
Oh, that was because they do the yeah.
They exploded into electric.
Oh.
It's safe now. She's got like little lightning scorch marks. Right on her face. She just wipes them off.
Good work, team.
We did it.
So to reiterate, you have checked out one of the 2 rooms, and then there is also a spiral staircase at the center of this structure.
Okay. I think she's gonna take a look around this room now. That.
Yeah. 2 beds, a couple of chests. This is probably where the lighthouse keepers maybe would stay. You can tell that there were the personal belongings of 2 people here.
She's just kind of walking around looking at anybody else was coming in to do anything.
Okay. Scarlet, Coral, Eden, Wynni.
I need to take a moment and touch myself. Because should something else come out of nowhere and try to hug me again, it's not going to go well.
Okay.
So I'm going to cast 2nd level Cure Wounds and heal myself however many hit points I can get back.
Okay.
I knew what I said. I'm sorry.
Hey, Paladins lay on hands,
You are not
it's-
sorry.
You know exactly what you did.
I rolled 3 ones.
Good. That's what you get. You deserve those 3.
So I mean, I get 11
It's
hit
gotta be
points
so
back,
frustrating.
but still.
Fine, I'll make a smutty Saturday command. Jeez.
I'm gonna walk over and like Eden put her hand on me and healed me. I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna put my hand on Eden and I'm gonna say, I hope you feel better.
Did that do anything?
No.
Not that kind of monk.
That was just like moral support while I was healing myself.
She was
Mhm.
so she didn't.
You feel emotionally better.
She's just trying to help.
Yeah, because I'm emotionally distraught that I didn't get back as much health as I was expected to.
You get 1/10 of a hit point back.
Nice.
It does turn out that Wynni has non-sketchy beverages, and she'll hand over a potion of healing. I learned how to read. A potion of greater healing to Eden.
Oh, I was saying I'm not that hurt anymore. Okay,
Oh.
wait, never mind. I'm down 15 still.
Well, just in case, I feel.
She has good liquid.
Yep, that's something that's now been said about Wynni. Finally, a group that appreciates her liquids.
Yeah,
It's getting worse.
I would trust anything wet from you. And I don't say that about a lot of people. So
I'm truly honored. Thanks, Letty.
no problem.
Wynni is going to go stand at the top of the staircase and look down into the... Up.
The staircase, it's a spiral staircase that goes up into the top of the structure. It does not lead down.
Okay, that was just like a weird Annihilation flashback, so...
Yeah, actually, kind of, yeah. Think of that final scene in Annihilation.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough.
Yeah, read that if you haven't. Yeah, she's gonna look up then, because looking down would be weird.
I'm gonna
okay.
out and stand by Wynni.
So
wait,
as you-
no, I said I was looking around that room and then I never rolled anything for it.
Yeah,
still
the
waiting
room
for
is
somebody else.
ransacked. Everything that can be seen, everything is just
Okay.
torn to pieces. Yeah, there's nothing defined, which is why I didn't ask for a roll.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So then I'm by Wynni.
So Wynni, as you look up, I mean, it's a spiral staircase, so it's tough to like look up because at any angle you're going to be looking at the bottom of stairs. But you can tell that it leads upwards and is kind of encased on all sides by the stone structure. That it's almost like the spine of this tower.
Do you want to go up?
Well, do any of us actually know how to light the lighthouse?
I'm a light.
That's true.
Are you
Wanna
gonna go
sit
stand
out
at the top
there?
of the lighthouse?
Maybe, I don't know. We can figure it out.
I mean,
I don't
maybe
think that's what you
fire.
want to
Maybe
do.
fire. Maybe.
I mean,
Anyone-
it depends if there's like a little mirror up there or something. I can make a little light. Probably, maybe.
I can
Wynni,
make
you might
fire.
know how lighthouses work. Because there's a couple of different ways in a fantasy world.
I mean,
Go ahead and. Yeah,
yes. Do I get to roll history?
intelligence.
Oh, I'm not terrible.
Yeah. You always make that face.
Because my
I'm
sorcerer
literally
had
feeding
a,
towards your
had a
strength.
+1. So just flat intelligence.
Yeah.
Kaila, I love you. These dice are going on in the freezer.
Yes.
They're beautiful, though. They're gorgeous.
I'll send you a bless kit. It's fine.
Thank you. I'm using, I think, my last reroll for 18.
Okay. Yeah, lighthouses work in a number of ways. There are absolutely the ones that are Pharos lighthouses, which use an actual flame. There are those which are more mechanical and use a set of mirrors and almost artificial light. And then there are even those, more often than not, that are powered by magic, a retention of a light spell. So that's why most lighthouse keepers are actually magical practitioners of one form or another. A lot of clerics actually will take on helms as lighthouse keepers.
When we investigated the dead guy on the table,
Hmm.
would we have known? Would we have found anything that would have indicated if he was a magic user?
Well, okay. So I'll kind of
Alright,
give
good.
this, I'll give this to you more as like an out of character sort of thing. The best indicator that he was not a magic user is honestly the short sword.
Okay. Oh, I
Most
forgot that
magical
you had a-
users don't
yeah.
have proficiency.
I forgot we even found a weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Winnie's gonna shake her bag and just say, I probably maybe have, like, the right tools for the job. So
I
to
believe
speak.
you.
Yeah.
Literally the thing I have. No time like the present. And she's gonna put her foot on the stairs going up.
Letty, who still hasn't learned better, is going to walk up the stairs with ferocity.
Fantastic.
So it would be single file line going up the stairs. So Wynni, Letty, is anyone else going up?
I'm gonna go. The light
Eden?
bulb is going.
Scarlet Coral?
I'm following.
I just wanted to check out the other room.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that real quick. Coral, go ahead and make me an investigation check.
19.
Okay. This seems to be a storage room. There are barrels and crates just kind of littering the room everywhere. This room doesn't seem as disturbed as the other. It kind of seems like it was opened and then just like, because the door already was open, there's no one inside. But you don't see anything else out of the ordinary. It's just like a stock room. Supplies for the lighthouse.
But nothing to light it, like, because some run on certain materials. There's nothing.
Mhm. Yeah, so you look for oil,
Right.
something like that. Yeah, you kind of get the idea that because there isn't a fuel, this might be a magically sourced lighthouse.
Gotcha.
And there's no mirrors.
There would be no mirrors in that room. No. Okay. So, Wynni, you place your foot on the stairs. The stairs are actually made of metal. They seem relatively newer than the rest of the structure, that they might have replaced whatever came before and wore away. You start climbing, and your feet clank softly on the metal, and you spiral around and around a couple of times until you reach a solid metal door. Bolts all around the side, single handle.
Winnie pulls the handle.
It is locked.
I don't know why I thought that would work. She'll pull out her thieves' tools.
As you pull the handle, you hear a voice coming from the other side.
Y'all better get away from here, you fishy bastards.
Oh, wow. Okay, hey, I don't like that. My name's Wynni, not you fishy bastard. Not even my
so
good for
great.
nothing
Eel folk can
brother
talk now.
calls
That's
me
great.
that. Wow, Oh, like
The
those
things we
folk?
fought. We fought them.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
no.
they're dead. They're dead.
Yeah, that's not us. We're a varied sort, but none of us are eels. Folk of eels.
So what, you here to kill me too?
Why would we kill you? We could be friends.
I'm gonna tap Wynni on the shoulder. Is this the seagull person? Coral said there was a seagull person who talked to her.
Hey, Coral?
Them.
Sorry.
Hey, I can't remember the marching order, but Winnie's just gonna shout down to them like, hey, Coral? Coral, do you think this is your person with the bird?
I wouldn't know. You can ask them if they've sent a seagull recently.
Is Coral on the stairs with us?
Yes, I have followed by now.
Yeah, they would have been probably the last in line.
So, did you maybe talk to a bird?
Go ahead and roll persuasion with advantage when you say that.
Would any of us have any idea how a spell like that would work? Or is that completely like...
Eden. With advantage?
I rolled 2 3s.
Seth, you should have your cat eat Eva's
6.
dice. Next.
Why do you want to hurt my cat?
No, I don't want to hurt you.
Finn.
It was just... I'm sorry.
Soft kitten. Yeah, that's a 6.
Okay. The door, for the sake of story, the door does crack open slightly, and you see a small, aged man on the other side. And an eye just kind of peeks out. And when he sees all of you kind of stacked up on the stairs, the door actually does creak open. And you see well, you probably smell him first. You see a very bedraggled looking, tired, elderly human man. Well, come on in. And he opens the door to the main room of the lighthouse. So at the center, you do see the Pharos, the light of the lighthouse. It does actually have reflective surfaces to it, but it does also seem to be magically powered. There is no area for fuel or anything like that. You see that there is a small bedroll that's been made out, and then the entire exterior is all just windows. So, what are you here for?
Well, there's some folk who are worried about you. And, the light's out and no one can get out of the harbor and stuff. Just checking. I mean, we could go, I guess. But we did sort of take a bit of a beating getting here.
Yeah. But you all got my bird then.
Coral from the back will raise their hand.
Ah, all right. Yeah. Okay. I was hoping somebody would get that. My name's Lucian. And again, very he's been wearing the same clothes for a while now. Has not washed. Beard stubble's been growing a little bit. He's an older guy to begin with, but there's a level of tiredness to him. And he is also wearing the same lapel pin that you saw on the half-orc downstairs.
I think I would return that to him.
Oh.
You're, I assume you knew that gentleman, the half-orc.
Tim. He was what's the word? Intern.
He's,
paperwork's.
I assume you know he didn't make it.
Well, if you're giving me this, I assume.
Right.
All right. Well, are y'all here to help, or? I'm assuming.
Are we all in the room at this point, or are we still in the?
Yeah. Yeah, if Wynni would have had to be the first one in, then Letty, then Eden, Scarlet, Coral.
If the door
So
opens,
yeah, Coral's
she's
in there, then everybody is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, we're here to help.
All right, then. Well. All right. My name's Lucian. Lucian Skyhorn. This is my family's lighthouse. Welcome. I am the last in line of the Lightkeepers here. And I will probably be the last one ever, from what it seems like. About a week and a half ago, those eel monsters came up from the ocean and stormed the lighthouse. And I've been up here ever since. I have been living off what my magic can provide. Hence, I have not been able to charge the lighthouse. I need to know I can trust you all before I tell you what I'm going to tell you next. Can I trust you all?
Well, we killed those things downstairs.
I suppose that's good as it's going to get.
We did sail
All right.
all the way over here. You know, we fought some sea dragon.
No, I've seen the ships try to fight it. You've been the most successful so far. But I hope you know it's not gone. All right. You see, the lighthouse wasn't built here just because it's a good place for a lighthouse. It is. The lighthouse was built here because there's something inside the island itself. There's something, it's magic. It's built into the foundation of this piece of land. Lighthouse was built here to defend it. I'm a light keeper. I keep light. Those things are trying to use that magical item for darkness. There's a basement to this place. It's hidden. If you can get down there, I think they've been using people to make those monsters out there, to attack the ships. They're trying to figure out how to take the magic item with them. Until they figure that out, they're going to take as many lives as they can in the process. If you can get down there, if you can stop them, well, be doing me a real favor. I don't have anything to give, but you know, maybe we can talk if you're successful. I'm sorry. I'm begging at this point. It isn't a deal. It's not. I don't have anything to give you. I'm asking for the sake of good, for the sake of light.
Or, you know what might also be helpful and a little beneficial to like all of us is if you went and helped our captain, or other captain. Coral, are you? If you're a captain, are you still our captain? Are you? I'm not quite sure what your job description is.
What? Me? Oh, love. I've never had a ship. What are you talking about?
Oh, that makes that easy. Okay, we only have one captain then.
As far as the government's concerned, I've never had a ship, so I can't really be called a captain technically. The technical sense.
I feel like there's a lot more there, and now is probably not the most She's gonna eye over Lucian. No, probably not the best time to talk about that. But, Lucian Skyhorn, Sir Person, we could probably look into this. You look like you maybe want to stretch your legs a little bit. and maybe want a little more safety. So we have a ship just down below.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I would like to get out of this room. All right.
I've got one question for you. You said they were the ones doing this. Who exactly are you referring to?
Eel folk, those monsters you said you fought. They've
Behind
got a
all of
leader.
this.
Well, they're behind this attack. They didn't put the item there, whatever it is. That's been there since, well, I think it was just part of this island. It wasn't built, it was just formed naturally and magically. Lighthouse was built to defend it, keep it out of, well, their hands. It's not a lot of us left anymore. Light keepers. And he kind of points to his lapel pin when he says that.
I see. Well, was there anything else that we've already killed a couple of them, but is there anything else that you think we should know before we go save your basement?
There's a way down to the basement. It's hard to see, which is why I think they've been searching for it. I've heard them going through things. They've had to go the long way around. So the other side of the island, there's actually a cave that leads into the hollow part of the island. But my best way of getting down there, a way to get around all of them, because I'm sure they're guarding that cave, there's a secret hatch in our storeroom, stacked under a bunch of the crates. You have to move a couple of things, but it's the back, left corner as things go. You'd have to know it was there to find it.
I was just there.
Well, like I said, you'd have to know. It was a DC 22, to be fair.
I figured,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
I was like, fuck, it
did have a
it was
DC,
my
but-
role.
Yeah. And Eden, he's actually going to kind of clock you for a second. And he'll just kind of like lean in a little bit, and in Druidic, because he is a druid, which is why he has Animal Messenger, which is the spell he used for the seagull. He's going to say, hey, one druid to another. Help an old man out.
Of course. Oh, my mic messed up. I said, of course. Like, I'm assuming he's just talking about going to the basement and doing whatever.
Don't let anybody take it. Don't let anybody use it.
Wait, what is he talking about?
The item down there.
Okay.
Don't.
I thought he was talking about the lighthouse. I was like, I have every intention of taking the lighthouse.
Take it with you. Put it on your boat. Put it in your pocket. Who cares?
No, I'm just going to stay here.
Oh, well.
I'm literally a light bulb.
You know what? If you make it back up here, you come and talk to me, because I might have a job for you.
All right. Wait, do you want me to like bring you the item? Or you just leaving it there?
You leave it where it is. It's part of the island. It's built into the island. If you remove it, you destroy it.
So you think that they're going to take it, or we're just stopping
I
whoever's
think
already
they're trying
down there?
to figure out how to. Or they're just going to stay here and destroy every ship that they can while they're here. Either way, they're going to destroy something irreplaceable and intensely powerful, or they're going to use that powerful thing to kill a whole bunch of people.
I'll make sure neither of those happen.
All right, then. Oh, hey, you all need any health potions? And he's going to like refer to a crate that he has of greater health potions. Help yourselves.
We might be needing them.
You all can essentially get back to full health at this point.
Oh, bless.
Bless.
If we don't need it, can I just keep it in my inventory?
That's what my question
Sure.
was.
Yes. If you don't use it, you can take 2 greater health potions each.
I have to use it.
I think that evens me out to where I was before, so that's super cool. Except I don't remember. Everyone frantically mathing.
Yep.
Okay. I assume there's windows. I mean, like, we can see all around, right?
Yes. Yeah, 360 view.
How does the rumor look to be doing? Like, can we see Sheila?
You can look down and she's patching, the little bit of damage that there was. It should be seaworthy again in probably 30 minutes, maybe. She's working pretty quick. It wasn't that damaged, it just would have taken on water for a smaller boat.
I would still recommend it, especially, like, if she's not under attack, knock on wood. I would still suggest that he, like, head in that direction, just...
I would like to leave.
Yeah.
As soon as my conversation with him ends, like, obviously I know, like, when he's looking around and everything, I am going to leave.
Okay. So are you heading to the secret hatch or are you checking out other stuff? Okay. All right. What are the rest of you doing?
Assume that I'm going with everyone. I need to run something quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I have to, like, walk past Scarlet and Coral to try to get there, but, like, as soon as our conversation ends, I'm
outie.
Walk with intent down the stairs, attempting to, like, get past everybody before anyone else gets anywhere.
So Eden, knowing what to look for, you're able to move the crates aside. You're able to find the secret hatch. It is not locked.
Why would you not lock that? Like,
it was hidden.
It's true.
Yeah. You can tell that it does actually have a locking mechanism. It just wasn't locked. It does have the same kind of symbol that the lapel pin has had, that the challenge coin had, and has a metal ladder that leads downwards.
Oh, I'm down that as fast as I possibly can be.
Okay.
I'm being risky because I'm on my own little druid mission at this point now. I don't know if anybody else speaks druid in the party and knows what that exchange just was.
I don't think anybody else does. It is
so,
strictly flat, like thieves can't. It's strictly
to all of them. I was speaking in some other language and then immediately took off down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
As far as they could tell.
Okay. Well, with Eden leading the way, I'm assuming everybody else is behind. You all make it down that ladder. You find yourself in dim light. There's some light kind of coming from the porthole that you came down from. And round a corner, there's stone below. It's not like formed stone. It's not manufactured in any way. This is a cave that you're traversing through. It is dripping. There's, a heaviness to the air. And at a certain point, you round a corner and it is light all of a sudden, as far ahead, about 100 feet away, is the open mouth that leads out actually into the ocean, with the ocean kind of like feeding into this contained pool, essentially. And you can see that there are a number of eel folk that are just kind of watching at this cave. They all have their backs to you. And you can see that... Go ahead.
Does anything stand out? I know that I'm looking for something.
Yes. So the two other things you see besides the eel folk, there is the wreckage of a ship, and you can also see the thing that you would be looking for are large stone double doors that would be off to your left. So if you went straight ahead, that would be the mouth of the cave, shipwreck, eel folk. To the left is another space which has large stone, and these are actually carved into the cave itself, but have been manufactured to where they can open. These are doors that are formed from the natural formation of the walls.
Are they currently closed?
They are.
I am smart enough to assume that if I were to open them, it would make enough noise that I would get the attention of the Eelfolk. Huh?
You can roll for stealth.
Oh, but they're giant stone doors.
You can roll really well for stealth.
Nat 20, that shit.
You could have the rogue roll for stealth.
I could have the rogue roll for stealth. Or I could try to do it myself because I'm on my little secret druid mission. Yeah, actually, you know what? Last time Eden opened a door, it didn't go well.
Mm-hmm.
How far behind me is Coral?
Coral would probably be catching up.
Because I think Coral's the rogue, right? Okay, I was like, I think that's correct, but then I remember you saying swashbuckler kind of thing, so I was like, I think that it's a rogue. Hey, I'm gonna be as quiet as I possibly can. I don't know if I have to stealth speaking to someone. Be like, hey, Coral, can you come like open these doors for me, but just like real quietly and like gesture at the large group of eel folk and be like,
Well, for you, for us.
I mean, for all of us, but I can't open them myself without making a bunch of noise. And there's something inside of there that we need.
Right, probably, the thing that he wants us to make sure is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
I just don't want them to hear us unless
That's fair. I don't want to fight anymore. Ideally, I've done a little bit. Kind of over the. Yeah, I'll try. I'll see what happens.
Okay.
So I'm going to attempt.
Can I ready an action on the off chance it fails?
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea.
I would like to ready Moonbeam.
Okay.
Let me see. It's 2. All right, that is a dirty 20.
Yes. So Coral, very much like
I almost said unnatural 20.
the abomination 20. Very much like picking the pocket of a giant stone person. Nope. You are able to very deftly actually open these doors. You're able to recognize where the sound would come from and adjust accordingly. You're able to even match the sound with the lapping of the waves, which in this cave actually does reverberate a decent amount. And with these other eel folk over 100 feet away, none of them notice.
Ha, idiots.
That was amazing.
And you open the door to find not enemies inside, but a group of bound humans, sailors from the look of them.
Definitely gonna wait at the entrance, I think, upon seeing that, and kind of wave everybody over, make sure they could get across without alerting the eel folk before I go start talking to the other people.
Would your stealth roll allow you to also close the doors, or would you have to re-roll?
I would say it would count it for it.
Okay, cool. Because otherwise I'll roll again, but yeah, I'm gonna wait for everybody else to get there first.
Everybody gets inside, the doors close. You can see that there are about 10 different sailors and someone who's dressed more like a captain, who are all chained around a central pillar of this room. There is another set of stone doors, which is off to the right. And as you close the doors, the man in the captain's uniform says, "Oh, thank God. Oh, all right. Listen, one of my guys is in that room over there. They've taken 5 of them at least. They keep using them for something. I'm sorry, I haven't had water for 3 days. You have to get in there."
I will give him some water from my pack. I assume I have a water skin.
Bless you. Yeah. I think you can also create water maybe at this point.
I'm a genasi. I can't do that.
Just splash some shit in his face.
No, he gets the water skin.
Yeah. Okay. There are leaders in there with one of my guys. Just please Please save him. I can't lose another one.
All right, well, we are here to help. I'm gonna go ahead and start at untying.
Do we think we could like send them out to deal with the eel folk while we do what's happening in here as like a distraction?
So as you kind of turn around, so you look into the room and you see this immediately. As you turn back towards the door, you can actually see that there is an accumulation of wealth in here. There's treasure. And in addition to the treasure is a stack of what is clearly their weapons. And yeah, when you make that indication, it is very clear to them. Yeah. Easy to do.
So we could open the door for them, let them out, close the
They'll
door,
take care
let
of the
them go
rest.
fight some eel folk while we figure out what's happening in here.
That's the idea.
Is everybody on board with this plan before we do it?
Hey, Derek, where are these sailors from?
A number of places. These are not Imperial sailors, if that's what you're wondering.
Well, I was wondering if they left my ship.
Oh, no, sorry. These were from the first ship that was taken. Yes, these sailors were from the Selene, which was the ship that was actually dragged for bodies, essentially, for Eelfolk experiments. The rest of the ships were decimated. All hands lost. Sorry.
I would like to ask a question. When you say that they were doing experiments with your crewmates, were they turning you into water entities?
I don't know. I don't think so. From the glimpses I get inside that room, there's some sort of like bowl or something. It's filled with water. They'll put a guy in front of it, the doors close, and then when they open again, they bring the guy out and he's drained and he's gone.
Okay, because we fought one that could talk. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they took part of your essence and put that
Maybe.
to control them. I just didn't know if you knew anything, because I sure don't, and I don't know about anybody else here, but this is all kind of... A lot of this is new to me, anyway.
Yeah.
You're not the only one.
Listen, all I know is on the other side of those doors, there's one of the more powerful ones. It knows spells. And I've got one of my guys in there.
Okay, well, assuming that they're willing to go out and distract the eel folk, I would like to bust this door down. I'm tired of waiting.
You got it. And he grabs one of his cutlasses and they all grab their weapons and get ready. So if you all would like to prepare something based on whatever you see on the other side of that door, we can do a surprise round.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, let's go ahead and roll for initiative. Yeah, weird tonal shift. Yeah.
I heard the music change.
That's a natural 20 for a 23.
10.
19.
So who had the 10?
I did. Me.
Jake. Okay. Okay, so Scarlet. Wynni.
Tobies.
What was
He's being a demon today, so I can do whatever I want to him.
Coral's? Oh, you're just rolling now. Okay.
I am.
Eden?
That is an abomination 20.
Abomination. Okay. Eden, what was your roll?
21.
Oh, Jesus, guys. All right.
You said
Where's the
surprise the boys, surprise them.
Sure did. All right. And then... Okay. Cool.
Can I ask a logistical question?
Absolutely.
So I understand for Wild Shape that it lasts for 2 hours, and then per short rest, I can activate it twice.
Mhm.
In DM opinion, me using the bonus action to switch shapes, does that count as one of the 2 uses? Or because it's still within that 2-hour period, does it not?
It would count as one of the uses.
I just wanted to make sure that I know what I can and can't do at this point. That's why
Totally
I'm asking.
fair.
Okay.
Okay. With another set of stone doors in front of you, Scarlet, you will be going first. So, not knowing what's on the other side of that door, what would you like to prepare?
I would like to prepare Eldritch Frost.
Okay. Are you going to be pushing the doors open?
With my +0 strength modifier?
They're
Maybe.
doors.
You haven't met me indoors, then.
I don't
Sure,
think
I'll
you
open
endorse.
it. Can I
Okay.
kick it open?
Sure.
Cool. I'm gonna kick it open.
The doors push forward with a heavier creak, not being subtle at all about this. And surprised, about 20 feet ahead of you is an eel folk that's dressed in more regalia. They're holding a staff and knelt in front of them, facing away from them towards a stone pillar that's about like waist high with water in it. It's like a bowl set into a stand. And knelt in front of that is a sailor. The eel folk has its webbed hand on the back of this guy's neck, kind of shoving his face down into the water. And it turns to look at you as you cast your Eldritch Blast at it. You do not see any other eel folk in this room. There's kind of light trickling down from a single opening right above the bowl.
Cool. I'm gonna. The one I see is the one I go for. With a natural 20.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
That's double. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Cool. Let me get my other D10 and D10s. Quick clacking of all those dice. Oh no, I have to do math.
How much was it?
19.
Oh, 19. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Okay. Is that double?
Yeah, that's
Okay, gotcha.
48.
Gotcha.
D10s,
So,
not D8s, D10s.
all
They
right.
did roll their dice.
And that's with both beams? Kayla?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, instantly striking this thing. Its hand loses grip on the back of this guy's neck, and his head shoves up from the water, gasping for air. With that, Eden, it is your turn.
Yeah, I would have readied my last guiding bolt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna. It's just that's what you does. I'm losing my math gay abilities as it gets later. 25 to hit.
That'll hit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, the only has a 15. So yeah.
Okay.
Beat that, you hit it.
And this one, so like the way it works is I get 2 that have to be cast at first, but I get 1 that I can cast at second. So I cast this one at second level, so it does extra damage. All right, hold on. I'm gonna write these down. 4 plus a 5 is 9, plus a 6 is 15, plus a 2, 17 plus 5. 22 points of radiant damage, and then the next person to attack it attacks at advantage.
Okay. Pretty roughed up within 2 attacks. Let's see if we can knock this out before it gets turned. All right, Coral, it is your turn.
Punch it with advantage.
I'm muted. I am going to. How far are these things? Like, how big is
About
this
20
room
feet away.
we're talking about? Okay, sweet, cool. That's so perfect and lovely and very kind of the DM to decide. I am
That's the
going
map.
to. Well, thank you, map. I'm going to do the sneak attack thing.
Okay. Yes, yeah, because you do have surprise. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna do that. I have 2 short swords, and remind me again, do I need to roll for each short sword to hit, right?
Yeah,
Cool
one
beans.
attack roll for each and 1 damage roll for each.
Okay. That's 20, and that is a 17 on the other.
Okay, both will hit.
Perfect. And now I have to add a whole bunch of shit up. Hold on.
So it should be 66.
Yes. I'll just roll. So that's 10, 15, 19, 25 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, what did I just say? 25? So 28 total
28 total.
with the +3.
Okay. Dang. Well, Wynni, with over half of its health depleted, it is your turn.
Wynni would like very much to stay back from the melee, and is going to draw her crossbow. Imagine she would have already readied it like when the doors were being opened, but
Sure, yeah.
and that is, why do they keep going down there? 16 to hit,
That'll do it.
and that will be 6 damage, please and thank you.
Anything else for your turn?
Nope, she's just going to stay back.
Letty, it is your turn.
Yes. How far away?
20 feet.
20 feet?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm going to run over to it. I don't have to dash. That's within my move speed. So I'm
You do
gonna
not.
go over to it. He's not still holding.
He's not. No, the guy is breathing air. This thing has just been pummeled by a barrage of attacks. So it's definitely caught off guard. And yeah,
Okay.
definitely looking
Yep.
pretty rough.
I'm gonna use another magic charge.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna do thunder damage. And I don't. Is it like a circular room? Or
It's more of like rectangular. Like it leads directly to this singular point.
okay. So is there a chance I could slam him into a wall with this?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I would like to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So 19 to hit.
That'll do it.
Very cool. Okay. And that is 7 thunder damage. Do I add anything else to that?
It should be
It's a D8, isn't it? Or no?
I can't remember.
I think it's a
your
D8.
it's your unarmed attack, which I think is a D8 plus 1 plus
Unarmed strike is a D6.
Okay.
But I
Alright,
think the
so-
last time I did this, it was a D8 plus my dex modifier.
Okay. Then yeah, so D8 plus dex modifier plus 1.
8. Okay. Okay, so that is 7 total. Then, with that.
Okay. And sorry, Seth, I did
Low
not. I
damage roll.
know you got the nat 20. So what was the double damage for that?
That's what I was trying to figure out because I was like, I read out the regular damage. I did not double that one sword's damage.
Do you remember what any of your d6s were? You can just double the highest.
I have half of them in front of me.
Okay.
I
What's
don't
the
think
highest
I
roll you
rolled
got?
higher than I don't think I rolled higher than a 5 on any single die.
Okay, we'll add an extra 5 to it.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just keep that in mind next time. But I don't remember at this point.
All good. Yeah, I should have called that. That's on me. Right. Back to top of the order. Scarlet. This thing's looking real rough. Its surprise round is over. What would you like to do?
I'm just trying to find something out there. like not just Eldritch Blast.
I know. Warlocks feel like that one-trick pony.
I do, and sometimes Scarlet wants to do something cool. I'm gonna cast Shatter.
Okay.
I'm going to center it on the eel person. Constitution saving throw. It has to be to 15.
Rolled a 15 plus 2. It got a 17.
Does take half damage.
Okay. And what is that?
I'm just rolling on it. 11.
11. Okay. Okay. With that, Eden, it is your turn.
Okay, so Eden's now going to do something really cool because I'm still a chalice, so like I don't have damage capability from that anymore because I can't swap. However, using her magical abilities, Eden forms this, I don't know, average size shard of ice. So I'm essentially casting Ice Knife, and just like casts it and hurls it at this thing as best as she magically can. So
okay.
Let's see if I hit it first. So at 22 hits.
Yes.
Okay, I need a dexterity save.
Oh, why close that? It's because this guy's pretty much dead. 18.
Okay, so it automatically takes 9 points of piercing damage. And it does not take the cold explodey damage because it made the save.
Okay.
It doesn't say it's for half. It just says you have to make a dex save or take 3d6 cold damage.
Right.
So it still takes the straight up piercing stuff though.
Coral, this thing is on its last eelfolk leg. What would you like to do?
Ideally, kill it.
In a perfect world.
See how that goes here in a second. I'm gonna do the same old shit that I've been doing.
Stab, stab.
The stab. I have a nice order of stab with a side of 2 blades. And a
So-
sneak attack.
That's what I get at McDonald's every time.
6. Look to order a large stab.
A big stab, stab.
What is a 12 to hit?
The number 2.
Which I know is not going to work.
12 does not hit. No,
Right. The other one is a 17.
that will.
Rad. Okay, let's see here. Where are you? Where? There you are. So that is a 7 damage. Oh shit, wait. I rolled more, sorry. 14.
That'll do it.
16 damage.
Yeah, there was 10 hit points left, Coral. How do you finish this eelfolk Stormcaller who never got to call the storm? It just wanted to call it storm, and now like it's like phone is broken, and it's like Storm's like, where are you? You up?
Oops.
You up.
Please.
Sorry, babe, got caught up at work.
Got caught up being stabbed, sorry.
The old Stormcaller can't come to the phone right now.
She only calls me on my storm call. Nope, that didn't work.
Well, we've been trying to reach them about their car's extended warranty.
Want to call you about your boat's extended warranty?
Yeah, Coral is going to, I imagine, just being in the middle of this. You know that cool thing they do in the movies when there's normally 2 short swords or something like a scimitar where they kind of like use the inertia to like carry them around 360?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Okay.
And I mean, if you want it to end up in equal size triad pieces, that would be great, but I'm not going to impose that on you.
No, doable. Yeah. Is it unagi? Is that what eel?
Yes.
Is?
Yes.
Yeah. You.
It's saltwater,
thoroughly...
so unagi. This is the second game today that I've played where we have referenced unagi.
Weird.
Or
Glitch in the
faded.
Matrix. With the Stormcaller defeated, we are out of initiative. You have successfully defeated the eels as you exit the room and see that the sailors of the Selene have taken their task to hand as well, dispatching the rest of the eel folk. You are successful in your task. You were able to determine that the item in question is a bowl of water elemental command that, for one reason or another, naturally formed on this island. Eden, as you go to check on Lucian, he's actually incredibly grateful, one druid to another. And to you alone, he hands another one of those challenge coins. And along with it, instructions on how to get to a very secret special island. Eden, you've been granted an invitation to the Lightkeepers, a special organization of lighthouse keepers who keep the light in the world of Damaris. It is a special, I was going to say brotherhood, but it's also like everybody, so it's a special hood, personhood. It's a personhood of lighthouse keepers. As a keeper of the light,
It's a guild, Derek. You're looking for the word guild.
I am looking for the word guild. Thank you, Kaila.
That's why she's the favorite.
Get a lighthouse!
All of you are able to granted passage with Sheila.
Wait, is Lucian going to turn this one back on?
He is, yeah.
Okay.
The reason he had it off was he didn't have like the magical charge in him. He was feeding himself with good berries every single day to just survive. He didn't have the magic in him to like power the lighthouse
Okay,
for
good.
the entire day.
I just
Yeah, so
wanted
he-
to make sure.
Yeah, he's got it. But he also realizes that he's going to have to retire someday as a human. So, and he has no one to inherit after him. Eden, you might inherit the Skydhorn Lighthouse. Letty, you are granted passage on a much safer ship in a very safe box to one of the islands that actually does have enough land on it where you don't even have to see the ocean if you don't want to.
Great. Get me
Perhaps-
out of here.
Perhaps the monastery where you can train, but definitely a place where you can run for miles and not see water. A safe place for Letty.
Get me there sooner.
She deserves that. Coral, from one rogue to another, one pirate to another, Sheila recognizes the game. She recognizes you like bartering for something. And when you arrive at the Fen to drop off Scarlet, she makes sure you get your own boat. It's not a big one, but it's yours. Name it what you want, sail what you want. Coral, welcome to the service of Eula Saltsmile, Pirate Queen of Damaris. Wynni, would this be your first time at the Fen?
Yeah, probably.
Welcome to the Fen, Wynni. So many
Thanks.
friends to be made.
Can I
So many
walk
jobs
up?
to have.
Can I walk up to Wynni?
You can.
I want to stick my hand out to Wynni and introduce myself as Scarlet Shores.
Oh, pleased to finally meet you. It's not like we've been hanging out for probably days at this point.
Is this at the Fen when you do this?
Yeah.
Wynni, you shake the hand of the notorious Scarlet Shores. And you watch as someone approaches from behind, a taller Triton individual. And he puts his arm around Scarlet and he says, I was very worried about you. What happened to your ship?
That is a story to be had over a drink.
Well, let's get you a
But
drink.
first,
Yes, dear.
dear Wynni here is being requested by Yola.
Ah. Best of luck. My name is Corvus. Corvus Midnight.
Thanks. Nice to meet you too.
And that is where we're going to end our session.
Rip the heart out a little bit more, Derek. It's fine.
That hurt. As someone who watches it, that hurt.
Yeah, I'm proud of that one.
That hurt.
A little bit of lore drop at the end. Hey, thank you everyone for hanging out. We obviously went like an hour over, but I am glad that we got to wrap up this story. I am so glad for these people that were able to play. They're all such wonderful, incredible individuals. I'm going to have them tell you a little bit more about themselves and where you can find them, because they do amazing things in other places too. So let's go ahead and start with Jambo.
Oh,
Jamie.
yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
My name's Jambo. I stream on Twitch 4 days a week. Twitch.tv/Jambo. I'm also on Twitter doing Twitter stuff. At my handle. Play with Jambo. At Play with Jambo. And I like pizza and I have 2 dogs. And yeah, so great.
Yeah, definitely go check out Jambo's stream. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time. What are you playing right now?
Hades.
Oh, that's right, because you're
it's my first playthrough of Hades. It is so
falling in
much
love.
fun.
Game. You mean bisexual chaos simulator?
Yes.
Yes.
It's literally okay. Listen, Seth, I am obsessed with this game. I can't stop playing
so
it.
good.
It's taking all of me not to make an offline game to play off of stream, because I know I won't stop if
I streamed it, I think, once, and then I had to not, because I was like, this is mine. No, nobody.
This is my. I don't want to share.
Yes, and you can also check out the many clips of Jamie reacting to the NPCs. Yes. Thank you, Jamie. Seth, where can we find you?
Hi, I'm Seth. You can find me down here in the hell that is Dallas, Texas, where we are sweltering underneath, 105, I think. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch at KillXJill. I hope to be streaming video games and crafty stuff very, very soon, since I will actually have a life schedule. Wow. Otherwise, you can find me on Instagram if you're only friends with me for my orchids and my cats at KillXJill with an extra X at the end for umami and crunch. The only real project I have coming up, aside from the usual gaming and artsy cat shenanigan, is that I will be in a game of Vaesen very soon. I don't have any details about it. We're looking to start at some point in August. I don't know when, so just follow me on Twitter, and when I find out, you'll find out too. Otherwise, thank you, Eva, so very much for organizing this chaos. Thank you, Derek, for pulling me in. This was super fun, and this was just great. I do need to, I already typed it in chat, but I do want to apologize for the use of an ableist slur that slipped out. I still want to hold myself accountable for it. I am working very hard on eliminating that kind of language from my lexicon. And it is something that I am continually working on and trying to be more accountable about. So I do apologize that happened. It will not happen again. And I will continue to try and be better. So yeah, thanks everybody again for having me. And yeah, I guess I'll let Derek popcorn it. Derek's popcorning, not me.
I got this. You're all good. Okay, next in the order, Trees. First name Tiny, last name Trees.
Yeah, actual username Tiny Trees.
Oh, singular tree.
Thanks, Jambo.
One tree. Tiny.
Yeah, my name is a meme. I stream 3 to 4 days a week. I'm a regular variety and crafting streamer, and all of my streams are for charity. We actually do crafting projects for charity as part of my community. I play story-based games as a queer creator that especially focus on being able to talk about like how the game impacts real life, like when a game makes you pick a gender and use pronouns, because I'm not a fan. So you can find me at Twitch at twitch.tv/tinytrees. Twitter's Tiny Trees with the obligatory TV at the end, because you know it's really hard to brand solidly. But yeah, that's me. Although I always joke, don't follow me right now because I'm on hiatus because I'm dealing with a bunch of stuff. So yeah.
Thank you, Trees. Eva, you can go last. Because it's your channel. Kaila, tell us about your lovely self.
Hi, my name's Kaila. I play a lot of faces in a lot of places. I also paint stream over on my own channel on Twitch at twitch.tv/KMC. No, there's no underscore in my Twitch. I know how to do my things. There's an underscore in my Twitter. My D&D 5e campaign is currently on break while one of our cast members has a baby, but you can find us over on Craftic Studios having family game nights, reacting to our first ever session, and other type of one-shots while we are on a little bit of a hiatus. And on my own channel, you can find me on Thursdays and Saturdays doing a little bit of art model painting and other shenanigans. Stay tuned for video games, maybe. But tomorrow, most importantly, you can find me on AliMac's channel. We'll be doing a Battle of the Dragons painting sort of deal. You donate money to TLDF, and you get to choose what color we paint the dragons. I will be with Ali and Liz doing that tomorrow at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific. Sure, it's on Twitter. I promise. It's going to be fun times as long as I don't melt.
Yes, thank you to each and every one of you for sitting through your respective heat waves. Hi everybody, I am Derek Sword. I've been your DM as always for these Saturday games of Horizons Call. It is my absolute pleasure to sit here with these amazing people, a different group of amazing people, but amazing nonetheless. If you want to find me and more of my projects, the best place is Twitter at dsword16. I am also on Graham Cracker's channel every other Tuesday and Friday. Tuesday is Shards of Anarium, where I play a Null Ranger named Verben. Fridays, I play a swampy bugbear named Guriaz. And if you can't tell that I love monsters from my love of monstrous races, I'm also the co-host of the podcast Monster Crush. So if you enjoy cryptids and creatures and learning about them and also potentially romancing them and, smooching some Mothmen, check that out wherever podcasts are found. Every episode, my co-host Heavenly and I talk about different monsters and their histories and also how romanceable they potentially are. Yes, Mothman ass. And also to that theme, I will be on Smutty Saturdays tonight on the Lady Dames channel for the last session, last read.
The last tingle session.
The last tingle. I don't hate that. Yes, it is Tingler month on the Lady Dame for Smutty Saturdays, so we will be reading some of Dr. Chuck Tingle, two-time Hugo Award finalists. Great works. I believe there is something about these boots were made for something disgusting, and that's just what they'll do. And yeah, you'll join. It's midnight to 3 Eastern time. I believe that is it for me. I still do have a shanty to sing, but y'all gotta stick around for that till the very last moment because I'm a procrastinator. So Eva, if you wouldn't mind, tell us about your lovely self. Without you, we would not be here, of course. So this amazing channel that you built, just tell us all the wonderful things about yourself because you're an amazing person.
Thank you. I'll tell you about me in a nutshell. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I am Eva. This is my channel. Tonight was a prequel. We will be back, I believe, with the story thus far next week, Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific.
Blink Sharks.
No, Blink Sharks. Next Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific, Vazen will be back. And I think that's it for next week because it's still going to be hot. It is very hot still here in the Northwest. So I felt like I had something else. I guess not. It has been my joy to play Prequel Wynni with all these amazing, fabulous friends. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Eva.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you for DMing, Derek. Thank you, friends, for coming to want to play with us.
Shanty.
All right.
Shanty.
I don't think I've done Randy Dandio, so it might be.
It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute since any sea shanties have been had.
It has been a hot minute. I could probably do a repeat and no one would know. All right.
I wouldn't. It's true.
Same.
Now we are ready to head for the horn. Way, hey, roll and go. Our boots and our clothes, boys, are all in the pond. We rollickin' randy dandy, oh. Heave Apollo, heave away. Way, hey, roll and go. The anchor's on board and the cables are stored. We rollickin' randy dandy, oh. Man the stout captains and heave a whale. Away, hey, roll and go. Soon be we diving way down in the hill to be rollickin' randy dandy, oh. Boy, it is fun to sing after doing character voices for 4 hours. All right, hey, that's good enough, right? Yeah, hype train, whatever, choo choo. Hey everybody, thanks again. Yeah, definitely join us next week for when we resume the main portion of the Horizons Call campaign, and also look out to the future for a prequel episode for our other main characters, Proximus and Acacia. But until then, fair winds and following seas, brave mariners. We'll see you next week.